Yeah, buddies. It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington.
I'm Gail Bennington.
And we just enjoy Vito as our announcer. And we give him compliment after compliment. But today was the worst that he's ever done. Gail was not listening. So even without your music, right?
Yeah.
Just do the opening. No music.
All right. Too much blackface in Virginia. Michael Jackson moonwalks. Klansmen in yearbooks.
All right. Now, first of all, it's terrible to hear you sing. Second, why are you singing that song?
Because it was in West Virginia.
It wasn't in West
Virginia, and this is in Virginia.
Yes. So it doesn't tie in.
Wait, I'm still like, what is he singing?
He's singing, take the fucking, what is it, West Virginia, Blue and Mountain. Take Me Home Country Road. So that makes no sense. Virginia, West Virginia are two different places.
That's why I said in Virginia instead of...
I know, but it doesn't make sense.
I was just trying to make a
Virginia has its own stars and music, and you could have went there. But that'd be like there's news in fucking New York, so I'll do a Bon Jovi song since he's in New Jersey.
I can't do...
They both start with new.
Yeah. You never, by the way, you never attempt to start this with a song. Doesn't make sense because you have another song playing.
As I tried to sing the song, realize how hard it is to sing one song when the
yes, particularly when that song has nothing to do with what you're talking about. Also, I gotta bring this up to you, Vito. You've got your intern Vinay coming back, right? And his first day, he called off sick.
Yeah.
And the listeners are Team Vinay, not Team Vito. And I thought that Vito was our most beloved person that we had.
That's funny because he called out yesterday.
Yes.
And somebody sent me a screenshot that at 1:55, 5 minutes before the show starts, he tweeted a photo of himself in bed.
Yeah.
That said, please give me attention. So that's not really schoolwork.
Give me attention.
So that's not schoolwork. That's just a lazy piece of shit staying home from work.
All right, I got this. Vito was the worst, and the intern is infinitely more entertaining than Vito. I prefer poor attendance from the intern than perfect attendance from Vito. Also, Vito, get an inhaler or get off the mic. That's from GD.
Jeez, GD.
I guess that stands for goddamn.
Joke's on him, I have an inhaler.
I guess you got him then.
Why aren't you using it?
I forget.
It's not a positive.
By the way, Jumper Band got this. Ooh, the picture of him is not the best. He's a better looking kid than that. That looks like from some kind of cell.
Yeah, I don't know why he would share that 5 minutes before.
Jumper Band has this picture that he got a bunch of, Ron Bennington's got his own cupcakes from Molly's for his birthday. Well, first of all, happy birthday, Jumper Band. There's nothing more important than adults celebrating their birthday and bringing attention to it. I love it. Chris Stanley, when's your birthday?
August 8th.
We're going to make this year big for you, all right? We're going to go fucking buck wild.
36, baby.
Did you just think about the date of birth?
I forget. So one year I forgot it was my birthday.
Dude,
You went August, what is it now?
There's nothing I hate more than people being mad that somebody forgot their birthday, because who knows when a birthday
It's
is.
ridiculous.
You know?
You got the people you have in your life. They all got birthdays.
All right. Dude.
Yeah, everyone has birthdays.
No one is fucking saying that they don't.
We're on your side.
We're
Chris.
with you.
Okay.
But then you're just coming up with something fucking so stupid. Now, there is a lot to get into, but we wanted to, I don't know whether you guys have heard about this, but Woody Allen is suing Netflix, and he's saying, they're not releasing his movie because, people, the internet mob is what got to them. And he's saying, you knew all these things, all the allegations, and in his view, unproven allegations, before you signed a deal with me. And now, because people complain about it, you're not releasing my film. And I guess he doesn't get his bonus money or whatever. But it is this weird place that we are today, where people like, I don't know. Woody Allen, in my opinion, has released probably the best rom-com of all time, and you could make the case for like 2 or 3 in the top 10.
Yeah.
And a rom-com is like, other than horror or cartoons, you're probably going to get more fucking rom-coms than anything else.
Yeah.
And most of them are bad. He made a rom-com that guys can enjoy.
I would actually say this: when a rom-com is done right, it's like the best genre ever.
But that's the rarest thing in the world.
Yes, but 99% of the time, you get a cheesy, shitty, unrealistic rom-com.
Well, most of the time, I feel like rom-coms, and I don't think they mean to do this, but because they're female-centric, they alienate guys because the guys tend to be just pretty and stupid and two-dimensional. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where an Albert Brooks, you're like, oh, it's still a rom-com, but you can enjoy the guy. You know
right.
what I mean? It's hard to enjoy the guy in a rom-com. And if you were making a list of rom-coms that you hate, it would far surpass rom-coms that you love.
Oh yeah, most of the rom-coms I've seen, and I used to live with a bunch of roommates who loved rom-coms,
Right.
and they're like, I love bad rom-coms. And you're like, but why don't you just love good ones? Like, you could like good ones, but what is it about bad ones? And I have no tolerance for a bad rom-com. This just drives me nuts.
I think this is the reason that women, or at least girls, tend to enjoy dull guys. You know what I mean? And
Right.
you get dull guys in
that's
rom-coms.
Yeah, maybe that is like
Most
problem.
Most of like women that I know, I'm like, why did they marry that fucking dude? You know what I mean? Like, when I'm like friends with a woman, I don't know where they're fucking coming from when they date or marry someone. Now, I'll give you a thing for this. Jay Moore, to me, is an electric personality. He's hysterical. And then he did that rom-com in the 90s with Jennifer Aniston, where they sucked any personality out of Jay Moore.
Yeah, why not just let him be?
Because no one wants that guy in a rom-com. You know what I mean? You don't want the fun, crazy, creative guy in a rom-com. You want the dull, nice guy. The crazy guy in the rom-com is the one you're not supposed to go with. And you come back to the dull, nice guy. And I'll give you an example of this for Earl. These modern black movies have the dullest guys in the rom-com. You know what I mean? Those guys are just fucking there because they're pretty and they have their shirt off, but there's nothing that you would ever say, I want to hang out with that dude.
They're fucking nerds.
And then, like, usually the woman is, like, really funny, empowered, like, sassy.
And then the guy is always stupid. He's like, I want to get you a Gucci handbag and take you out for a beautiful night on the town. You know what I mean? When you think of all the guys that would be fucking funny in those rom-coms, and we never get them. Where's the calm in a rom-com?
There's like Jay Diggs and Morris Chestnut. They had about as much personality as a can of paint.
Right. They're beautiful, but they are not what you're saying. Oh, I would want to hang out with that dude.
All right, so give me an example of, like, a great rom-com couple. Who would you say is just like, this is done right, this couple is great, they're well suited, they're funny together?
I'm going to go back to right away to Woody Allen and Diane Keaton are the high watermark of I mean, she's fucking great in that. You know what I mean?
So good.
And she is the fucking chick that you want to hang out with. You could even go Harry Met Sally. She's too good for Billy Crystal in that, but at least he's not just a pretty guy waiting for her.
Right.
He's a dude who's fucking, he fucks up. That makes bad decisions. He's a regular person. And that's why you go watch that rom-com. And she's not a fucking coat hanger. You know what I mean? She's interesting. Now her friends are always stupid. You know what I mean? Like, they will never give you an interesting best friend in a rom-com.
Right. No. No way.
All right, let's go to a guy that has no com about him and no rom-com. Our own Chris Stanley. There's nothing romantic about him.
Not very romantic, no.
And comedically, it's just when you fall down or you spill shit.
Yeah, pratfalls, or actually just real falls, actually.
Yeah.
Real falls.
Your pratfalls is you actually have to go to the doctor and get an operation.
A back end there, Rod.
Give me a rom-com that a man like yourself would, a regular guy, a knock-around Joe, a lunch bucket.
All right, look, this was one from that aired in high school that I loved and rewatched recently.
Okay.
Can't Hardly Wait, that teen classic with Ethan Embry and Jennifer Love Hewitt were the two people that eventually got together.
You think that was a well-matched, good rom-com?
I would put that as the dude is fucking dull, the girl is hot but not overly interesting, and it's the last day of high school. I don't even know if I put that as rom-com.
Because it's like teen...
teen made up fucking... It's like watching Riverdale.
I thought
why
he
do
was
you
very
think that
much in
they're...
love with her.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's
Because
like...
of her tits.
Yeah, he doesn't know her, right? Like,
Right.
don't they... It's not like where
had
they...
a couple of interactions.
What, the Pop-Tart thing?
The Pop-Tart thing, yeah.
They eat the same Pop-Tart, and so that's why they're in love? No, I don't think that's not grown up enough.
Yeah. And again, the interesting guy was the fucking stupid Tom Cruise dude, bro. That she broke up with. That guy was a fucking train wreck. All right, Vito has the worst taste in music, so I won't go to him. And he has the worst taste. We know he's going to pick a shitty one, right?
You think so? Yeah. I mean, he might pick one that I think we would find not good.
Before we even get into that, let's go to Scott. For Scott, in New York, what's a rom-com that a man can enjoy?
I would have to definitely say The Breakup with Vince Vaughn.
Well, that is, I don't know if it's romantic enough. It's literally the breakup. I mean, I think that they would have been good in a rom-com, but they kind of made it an anti-rom-com.
Right. Yeah. I think that's exactly it. It's not like, it doesn't really embrace the rom, like, it does the opposite.
And people
it's like
did not go to that movie and did not like that movie because who wants to watch a horrible breakup that they're not going to get together? That's our own lives. All right, Vito, go ahead.
All right. The one I think is the best is Katherine Heigl and Seth Rogen in Knocked Up.
Oh, my
Because they get forced to
God.
be together in the beginning, and then by the end, I'm all for it.
Yeah, but you know that, like, her career did not even recover from that.
Yeah.
Because she said that they were all dicks and all that.
Yeah.
But he was the interesting guy. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, he was adorable in it.
He was the guy that you would root for and was dating above his head. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you. You know what I mean? I'm going to give it to you. I think I'm too polluted by the shit that she said after.
Yeah,
that
I
makes
think.
me kind of.
But if you if you step away and go, is that a cute thing where, for some reason, she takes a chance on him and decides that they're going to stick it out, and it's all just for the baby? It's kind of cute.
I also think that that all the friends were three-dimensional in that too, which was good. That you liked her sister. Like, her sister brought something to it.
Yes.
His friends. I think my initial thing there is you have to be careful of. I got shitty about all this stuff that happened after, because I remember being one of the people who were pissed that she fucked with everybody. Like, you had a hit movie. You know, what more do you want? I guess she thought that she was too much of a like she didn't get enough gags herself, I think was her problem. You know what I mean? But you know, you need a fucking straight person.
You do.
Ian in New York.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
So forgetting Sarah Marshall, Jason Segel, Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell.
I am going to
That
agree with
qualify?
that. I am a fan of that. That kind of introduced us to Russell Brand, who was very funny in that. I think there was a couple of scenes that went a little too far by the end of it, but I remember seeing that movie when it came out. I take it you haven't seen it, Gail?
Yeah, I saw it once, and I'm just trying to remember. Is it that he ends up, like, he finds Mila Kunis there, but he's really into the
Well, he was looking for her. He was after Sarah Marshall, who ran off with Russell Brand, who turned out to be like a fucking cool dude. So cool that they actually took the character and put him in another movie.
Get him to the Greek.
Yeah, which is funny. But the thing that makes me laugh when I think about this, I see Mila Kunis and I'm like, man, this fucking girl's beautiful. And I had no idea, because I never watched the 70s show, that she had been around for like 8 years. Yeah. And I was like saying to people, hey, where do you see this girl in this fucking movie? She's stunning eyes.
I feel like she would make it pretty easy to forget anyone, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, I'm still hung up on this other person.
Yeah, you're right.
Fucking Mila Kunis.
Yeah. And like, she's super fucking cool.
Right.
Steve in Alabama.
Hey, this one's definitely not your typical, but I think it's definitely a rom-com, and it definitely would appeal to certain kind of guys. But Scott Pilgrim Saves the World was that's a funny movie. It's good.
I would agree, and it certainly is a rom-com.
Right. It's teen rom-com.
Post-teen, you know what I mean? I mean, he's old enough to drink.
Yeah, he's living on his
Okay.
own.
You know, all the people in it are funny. I liked all the music of the X's except for the first one. And I think it's so bad that they opened with that.
Yeah.
When they were doing the Bollywood salute. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst song that they have. And the problem is you're trying to understand the movie at that point, and it would have been a lot better. But yeah, I put that in as a good rom-com.
Yeah. And I think it's like, for both him and her kind of situation, I would agree that like guys and girls would enjoy that.
I love her.
Yeah.
I think that she's great. I also think Knives is fucking great. I'm not going to lie to you. And this ex, what was her name?
I know that their band was Clash of Demon Head, but I can't remember her name.
She was fucking great in it.
Brie Larson?
That's Brie Larson?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Brie Larson, who won the...
Yeah.
I had no idea to this second.
Hello again.
Great song. It's better than anything his band ever did. She deserved her. Yeah, she deserved her taking up. What about for you, Gail? You set this up out there.
Okay, so I'm going to give this as a legitimately good rom-com where I love the chemistry between the main couple. And that's Deborah Winger and Arliss Howard in Wilder Napalm.
Wow.
Which actually ends up being like a three, it's like a love triangle that happens kind of in it. But it's funny, it's weird, and I think that like, I always think about the two of them as a real couple. Like, they remind me.
Now, which one, because there's two, and there's which one do you pick for... Which actor,
so,
the Quaid or the Arliss Howard?
I love Dennis Quaid in it, but Arliss Howard and Deborah Winger are like the real couple.
Do you know that they ended up together, I believe?
Oh, really?
Yeah, just check on that.
That's a rom-com that worked so well.
I believe that they ended up together.
They are married.
They're still married?
Yeah, they live upstate.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. And see, look, that's how rom this com was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they married after the movie.
And it seemed like they both kind of stepped back from their, you know what I mean? Like, I'd like to think that they're so in love that they're not all that into their career. Sean in Wisconsin.
Hey, I got one about last night. Rob Lowe and Demi Moore. I think Jim Belushi provided enough comedy in it, and it was actually a role that it felt like a good role for Jim Belushi.
Well, I don't doubt that it was a good role for Jim Belushi, but I consider this to be absolutely horrible, and it was based on a really gritty fucking David Mamet play, right? And if you go down to written by, Chris, look, it's written by, they take a David Mamet play and have Tim Kazurinsky, the old SNL fucking guy, to reboot that. And they turned it into this thing. But the name of the play was Sexual Perversity in Chicago, right? And that's why you can hear Jim Belushi doing And it's like this mammoth writing when they're, you know, well, was she good? You know, I mean, back and forth. And you're like, it doesn't fit the rest of the play. Because that's where they came in and said, let's make this a cheesy fucking movie from this point on. John in New Jersey.
Hey, what's up, Bennington?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Fool's Gold. I believe it kind of seems like it's directed towards men slightly.
Well, here's the thing. Have you ever seen this?
I have not seen Fool's Gold.
If anyone said to me, is this a good movie? I'd say no. They go, what number would you give it? I would say probably a 3 or a 4. And I bet I've watched it 8 fucking times. Because it's one of my favorite fucking topics. And that's guys trying to find fucking treasure, right, in the ocean.
That's great.
Some kind of pirate stuff. And then you have Matthew McConaughey with his fucking shirt off, Kate Hudson. And then this other really young girl who's too young to be in a tiny bikini.
Oh, nice.
And she's overly sexualized.
You just said too young.
Yes. So you could say, yes. But you would say in your mind, not out loud. Oh, nice. But you would never say it out loud. So that is the thing about a rom-com. It doesn't have to be that good to be watchable.
Right. No,
you know?
I agree.
And they're being chased around by fucking black dudes with guns and, you know, what's not to fucking like, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I have plenty of those that, like, for whatever reason, like, should it be bad? Yes, but then why have I seen it 15 times?
Yeah, because it is the type of movie you can fall asleep watching.
Right.
You need nice scenery and good-looking actors, and they're just, you know, in a nice fucking place. Like anyone falling in love in Paris or Spain, I can leave it on.
Right.
Anyone, look, this is true. If you have a great New York apartment or a house in the Hollywood Hills, I'll probably end up watching your fucking movie. Because it's kind of like apartment porn, real estate porn.
I'm going to throw another one in there because it kind of reminds me of the same thing where it's like, should this be bad? Yes, but I've seen it a million times. And I'm going to defend this here. And that's Fool's Russian, which is Selma Hayek and Chandler from Friends.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, he has a lot more chemistry with Selma Hayek than he ever did with Monica. It's an actually adorable movie, and they're so cute together.
Well,
and very much similar, I feel like, that Knocked Up kind of steals the premise. It's very much like one night stand, she gets pregnant, they have to kind of work it out. And I swear, they're like absolutely adorable together.
It's a very thin movie, like it's almost racist in the way of look how white people don't understand Mexicans.
Right.
You know, and they're like, the white people are frying out here. I mean, there's things that would be easier in life.
Right. And like she moves in and then like paints his whole like house like Mexican colors and she's just like taking over his life.
Right.
And he's as white bread as they come.
Yeah. And like people do have a tendency to go, do you like this when they live together?
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't surprise you by
changing your whole house
into a hacienda. LD in New York. LD, did you drop out? Fuck, he had a good one too, man. I'm just going to say what he had.
Okay.
And again, this movie should not work. There's so many silly things in it, but it gives you two people that have great chemistry. It's in a beautiful setting, and that's 50 First Dates.
Oh, that's true.
And
that is like a really cute movie.
And by the last scene, nothing makes sense about the movie.
No.
The premise is as dumb as hitting your head.
Yeah.
There's a thing where the girl hits her head, and she's in a rom-com. I think that's this weekend.
Right.
It's that dumb. And yet, you will choke up in the last scene of the movie. I know.
It is so, so cute. And, like, she's so adorable in it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just great. And they're good together. They've done stuff together. By the way, nobody has, Adam Sandler, the interesting thing to watch his career is watch how the women get more and more beautiful the more success he has. You know what I mean? In the opening movies, he's with nice, attractive girls.
Veronica Vaughn.
Yeah.
She looks all right.
Veronica Vaughn's which one?
She is Billy Madison.
That Veronica Vaughn.
Yeah. And then who's he with in the
Modern Family.
Yeah.
He's with Modern Family.
You weren't supposed to give that away. I was going to surprise him with that.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Chris in Florida.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
I was curious, would High Fidelity, would that qualify?
High Fidelity does qualify. Here's the interesting thing about High Fidelity. He's a bad person. You know what I mean? He is a bad person. And we only see things from his point of view.
Yeah.
I mean, she goes out and bangs somebody, his fucking upstairs neighbor or whatever, who they make just as weird and stupid as possible. So that makes us not like her. But she's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that was the one that you read the book and you said the book was even darker?
Well, yeah, but I was actually going more with Fever Pitch. I think that Fever Pitch, the one that they did with Jimmy Fallon,
I see, yeah,
is the book never should have been taken out of England, and it's been done a couple of different places. But the one they did with Jimmy Fallon, they made him like a baby instead of a guy who was like a fucking crazy fan. Let's go over here to Aaron in San Diego.
Hey, Ronnie. Hi, Gail.
Hey.
Hey, I'm going back a little bit too far here, maybe, but how about Seems Like Old Times?
Well, I don't think you could ever go back too far when it comes to a rom-com. You could go all the way back to the 40s. And Seems Like Old Times was, you had young Chevy Chase and, of course,
Goldie Hawn,
who is perfect in any rom-com, just like her daughter.
Well, yeah, because it would be, it's almost too easy. You would see Goldie Hawn and be like, yes, and who is in love with her?
Right.
You don't have to sell much about Goldie Hawn as being adorable and charming.
Hilarious.
So
absolutely
cute.
Fucking hilarious. So yeah, I would throw that in as a very, very watchable one. Jay in New Hampshire.
What's going on, Bennington?
Hey.
So, What Women Want with Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt, I actually enjoyed that movie.
I've never watched it. I found the trailer to be ridiculous. And it's being remade from the woman's point of view this weekend. And I think the Rotten Tomatoes is through the roof, which take that for what you want. But it's almost too stupid for me. What are they calling it this week? What's the remake, girl?
What Men Want.
Now, is this in your excellence, your filtered excellence?
No, it is not.
Too bad. Too bad. Kevin in New Jersey.
Hey, Coming to America.
I guess that is a rom-com, but I can tell you, well, who's the woman who's in it with him?
God, I'm not sure. I thought it was more like a buddy comedy.
It is, but I mean, it is about her too. He does. I mean, he has his buddy on his hip, but I can tell you right now, I can't picture her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Sherry Headley is the
both of them should bring something to the fucking table. Wes, South Carolina.
What's up, guys? The one that always kind of stuck with me, maybe it's just a nostalgic feel I get from it, but Adventureland with Gail's classmate, Jesse Eisenberg, and Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg is pretty good in rom-coms.
He is, yeah.
He's gotten to do...
And coming of age.
Yeah, he's coming in age rom-coms. We don't have this one up. You went to the actual place eventually. The girl, of course, Kristen Stewart, who is not funny, but she is the kind of girl that you would want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you would place a lot more of your own personality on the way that I think Chris did with the young Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh, yeah. You're on your way out, Gail?
Yes, I am. I must. Omar in San Diego.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Just wanted to add Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Well, again,
To the rom-com.
it's Woody Allen, and it fits the criteria of having beautiful locale, beautiful homes that they're in,
Just all around Barcelona.
and have it, instead of a romantic triangle, more of a romantic three-way, which I prefer. You know what I mean? I happen to think is the way to settle everything. Let's go over here to Dave. Dave in Ohio.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
I can't believe no one's mentioned Love Actually.
Well, Love Actually, made by Richard Curtis. I don't know if it has aged the way it should. But it is a Christmas movie that everybody could watch. There's stalky things in there.
Yeah.
There's things that no longer fit the criteria of a woke person. And that got talked about a lot this year.
Yeah, people were, it was made a lot of lists and articles.
Now, you could go back to earlier Richard Curtis, which was the 3 Weddings and a Funeral. And that is a movie that people continue to love. And it made, what's his name, a huge star.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, who went on to do many rom-coms, most of them pretty bad, but also barely watchable.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I like seeing him in a movie.
You do?
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's Hugh Grant. Like, I know what I'm going to get.
I feel like I could have managed his career a little better. You know what I mean? But there was, I remember, I know that you worked with us when we were over, but at, I forget what they called it. Stern's old station.
Oh, Free FM.
All right, so Free FM, we were downstairs, I guess, right before our show. We had walked down, because we were doing 2 shows, and we were having a smoke, and they came in after a movie. I think it was a movie premiere, and they were going to the restaurant, and it was him and Drew Barrymore, and it was a bad movie called, I think, Music and Lyrics or something along those lines. Do you ever see that one, Earl?
I haven't seen it, no.
It's pretty terrible. But they came in together, and Hugh Grant looked like he had just starched his hair before he came in.
Music and Lyrics, that's it.
Yeah. So that was in 2007. That's like 12 years ago. Go back to his career, though.
Music and Lyrics was kind of like Love Actually.
Why?
Just the movie poster. Seems like there's a lot of characters.
Yeah, if you notice, they're the same 2 people.
Oh, never mind that.
So, nice try. Way to gloss over it. But let's look at the stuff that he's done. Notting Hill, which go back further up, right? Notting Hill, which everybody loves. 9 Months, which is a real bad one. Keep going down, Chris. The other way. The Bridget Jones movies.
That was huge.
Then did you hear about The Morgans, which is just fucking ridiculous? About a Boy, which is basically a rom-com between a man and a child.
Oh, no.
And that premise is like a good one. And I've had friends get caught up in this. And that's when you date a woman who has a kid, and you kind of end up staying because you love this kid so much. And you can't imagine not having this kid in your life. And I've been through many friends that have had that happen before.
I have a buddy from high school actually who was with a chick with 2 kids, and is like, it's on the rocks or whatever now. But
Right.
he actually said the same thing. Like, I love these children so much. They're not
Right.
his kids.
They're not his kids, so he has no rights to them if they break up.
Yeah.
But he's with these kids every fucking day.
Yeah, and they've been together for a while. Like, they live together, and so like he's like their dad. You know,
He is there, and for all practical purposes, what we think a dad is, their dad. But you will have 0 rights to those kids if you break up, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, have I ever known... All right, let's wipe the fucking tablet clean here. Do you know anyone who's been in your friend's fucking position and did not write it out? I'll say this. I've had friends who don't live with their kids, have walked away from the marriage or whatever, because they do have rights to those kids and they can see them when they want to.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody who was in the stepdad role and really cared about the kids and walked away before they were of age? I can't think of one.
I don't. I definitely don't have one in my life. I know a lot of guys with kids.
Because your fucking generation doesn't have fucking children till you're 40.
It's a lot of old dads.
Yeah, and they're still like at 40, like, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Yeah,
Who's fucking ready for parenthood? 0 people. Can you imagine what a bad parent Earl would have been?
Oh my God, awful.
Just terrible. Just fucking mumbling at them and being too... I'm going to be performing with Robert Kelly, Jim Florentine, and Rich Voss Friday, March 8th at the Keswick Theater in Glenside. It's going to be a lot of fun. These guys are just hilarious. Go to keswicktheater.com for tickets. Yeah, I can't think of a guy who's ever walked away from those stepkids because he knows I won't be able to see these stepkids anymore.
Yeah, I never I even forgot my buddy was like going through that until you brought that up. It's a strange thing to me, at least.
I know you don't watch Manifest.
I don't.
But there is a situation. You know the premise, right?
Yes.
Where they're gone for 5 years. Everyone assumes them to be dead. She gets in a relationship with another dude, and that dude had a healthy relationship with her daughter, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of can't stay away. Even though the only way to do this is you got to stay away. He still keeps coming around. And the daughter will call him when she has trouble.
Oh, wow.
And it's kind of considered like you can't do that.
That's bad, yeah.
Yeah, but who can get around that in their head?
I guess it would be like, oh, you're leading him on to be your dad.
Now, Earl has 3 baby mamas, and he doesn't go anywhere near those children. It's very easy for him. Well, you know what, Vito? Come on in here, Vito, because I know you went in the opposite direction. Vito had these guys that his mom was with, and they couldn't stay there. And I'll tell you somebody else that has talked about this a lot is Dan Soder, and that he wanted a dad so bad, and that when his mom would break up with people, he would be mad at her.
And he'd be just like really pissed and just
like she ruined this opportunity for him to have a fucking dad. And that's probably why he's so effeminate. No, he's not at all. He's a very masculine guy. I was just teasing. You've had that situation with people that your mom dated when you were younger.
Yeah, my mom was with somebody for over 10 years. Yeah. And they broke up when I was 19 or 18.
Yeah.
So, like, right when I was no longer a kid. But it was weird because it was like my father.
Was it sad?
Yeah, it was really sad.
Devastating for you?
Yeah, like I remember like getting told like was crushing. Like I got off of, I had just went on my first trip like with a friend.
Acid?
No.
Okay.
I flew to Chicago with a friend, first time like just with a friend, no parents, just like flew out, got back. And got picked up by who I call my stepdad, and he just said, as he dropped me off, just said, "Just want to let you know, me and your mom aren't seeing each other anymore." And
you start crying then?
No, I cried when I got out of the car.
You should have cried in front of him. Do you have no relationship with him now?
We talk once in a while.
Yeah,
but not like.
What do? You show him like pictures of you, like, look at me, I'm in radio now.
Just talk on the phone. No, like
you ever bring up your life to him? And
yeah, briefly.
Like you try to like say the proud things the way you would with a dad.
Yeah, like I try to like
this guy Vinay. I don't know how to manage him. I'm supposed to be managing Vinay, but he won't come in every day.
Like he's a big music guy, like soul music specifically. So I sent him the GPS Philly Soul we did.
Oh, did he love it?
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you call him? Steve.
I called him by his first name, yeah.
Steve. Steve? I love you, Steve.
Steve, you got this show you should listen to.
I mean, now that you're an adult yourself, you like, this guy gave you love at a time that you need it. You know how fucking weird that is.
They started dating when I was like 6, 2 years after my dad died.
So you were 250 pounds.
Yeah.
So they dated for 13 years then?
Yeah, 13. And like we went on we went to Disney World. We went on vacations every summer together. Yeah. I stayed at his house every weekend.
I feel bad for Vito now.
Yes.
If Gail was here, she'd be crying, but she's pumping. Dan in Connecticut.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole situation is different if the dad-stepdad thing, if the kid is a boy and the stepdad or the other guy wants to stick around versus if it's a girl and then they, have a relationship that's lingering after the real dad comes back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just Pornhub that up, but it doesn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the fucking awful thing, that it would be perceived that way.
Yeah.
That guy would be a creep. By the way, Justin Stengel thought The Graduate was an amusing rom-com, and it's one of the great movies of all time, but that fucking dude is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, he is so much more crazy than I thought when I was younger. I look at him now as a guy who's had a fucking mental breakdown.
Yeah, and becomes like a fucking crazy weird stalker, fucking maniac.
Well, I mean, imagine, like, her dad. Not only is this fucking guy stalking your daughter, he fucked your wife. I don't know how this guy didn't get fucking holes put in his chest. Like, fucking holes.
Yeah, when he went up to that other town and went to that room.
Yeah, and he went to Berkeley.
Yeah.
Not some other town.
I forgot the name. I forgot what town they were.
Yes, you forgot one of the most famous fucking schools in the history of the world. Yeah, he was just following her around her college. But he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
I remember do you remember that there was one small part where they were going to throw him out? And a kid who jumped in and goes, "You want me to call the cops?"
Oh, yeah.
You know who that is?
No, who was that?
He doesn't know. How would you remember that? Not know.
No, I remember that scene when he's getting like they want to throw him out of the fucking like the single occupancy.
Yeah,
house.
Mr. Roper wanted to fucking throw him out of the apartment. Do you remember that? That it was Mr. Roper was his landlord.
I forgot Mr. Roper was his landlord.
And then Richard Dreyfuss jumps in and goes, "You want me to call the cops?" There's one fucking line in this movie in 1967. I love when you see a major star with one stupid thing. I brought up seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger basically as a glorified fucking extra in The Long Goodbye. I fucking laughed my ass off.
Well, in Rushmore, this isn't a major star, but this person.
Give it to me.
All right, in Rushmore, he's taking out the book on oceanographers or whatever, and the librarian is Titus from Kimmy Schmidt. He's the black dude from Kimmy Schmidt.
This is what he thinks is a major star.
Well, it's not.
Hey, Earl. He thinks fucking Titus from Kimmy Schmidt is a major fucking star.
It's a good Rushmore.
That everybody should be like, holy shit. Titus had a small role. Guess what? All of his roles are going to be small from this fucking point on.
I just yelled, "Oh my God, there's Kimmy Schmidt."
You called Kimmy Schmidt?
Then I had to look up the name of the dude. Titus is even hard to fucking remember.
You know, Billy Zane was one of the guys in Biff's crew in Back to the Future.
I had no idea this till this fucking second.
Yeah, look up
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Well, what did Billy Zane get famous for?
Was he famous before Titanic, or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was fucking like, hey, Billy Zane took a really small part in this. Because I know he did the Phantom before that. Like, they had actually starred him in a role.
Holy shit! There's fucking Billy Zane.
Dude, I have seen this fucking movie so many times and did not know that Billy Zane was in that.
Yeah, he rolls in Biff's crew.
Doesn't that make your Titus thing look like shit
I
now?
should have never said that. I should have fucking never even.
You're never gonna fucking write this down. This is your Van Halen is overrated.
Yeah, I know Billy Zane. He was in Demon Knight. That was a bad horror movie in the late '90s. But I think that was before Titanic.
Well, let's take a look at his fucking thing, Chris. You're sitting in front of the Google machine.
All right, here's his IMDb.
Go all the way down, all the way down.
He's got a lot of work, Billy Zane.
Well, not all of its big fucking parts. All right, so Back to the Future was his first fucking role. By Matlock, he's not fucking big. Dead Calm, I don't know. Wow, he was even in Back to the Future 2.
What?
Did Twin Peaks make him big? I never watched Twin Peaks.
He was second season.
Okay, shitty season.
Yeah.
Tombstone, we all know that he was in.
I remember him in Sniper. I remember that movie with Robert Berenger.
I don't know it.
I don't remember him.
You mean Tom Berenger?
Tom Berenger, not Robert.
Oh my God,
Robert
Van Halen is overrated. Unlike me, I don't have any fucking trouble calling you out, dude. Dave, Jersey.
Yeah, you mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Long Goodbye. I thought that was funny. And I was thinking Richard Dreyfuss in a small role before he blew up in The Graduate.
That's what started
He goes,
this.
shall I get the cops? I'll get the cops. Remember?
Yeah, but I said that even before I said the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Eric in New York.
Hey, guys. Gandhi, Daniel Day-Lewis had a small little part in Gandhi where he was giving Gandhi a hard time on the sidewalk there.
Now, Daniel Day-Lewis had like a big role before that. Just stop looking at pictures of him and just fucking look at his IMDb, Chris. What are you doing, man? What are you fucking doing?
I'm all over the place on here.
Go all the way down. All the way to the beginning of the script. So, had he already... Where's Gandhi fit in?
Gandhi's in 82.
Yeah, I guess he hadn't done... yeah, you're right. He wasn't a major actor then. But I think he had done TV in England. And Gandhi was one of those things that they tried to pull as many fucking popular English people into because they didn't think people would show up to see Gandhi. All right, here's what I'm going to say to people. Don't tell us if we notice... Because fucking Vito blew my mind today.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
I mean, I'm a fan of Vinay, but Vinay never would have pulled that off. That's all fucking Vito. Richard in San Jose.
Yeah, I was calling you about the cameo. I was watching Death Wish.
All right, hold on. Death Wish, I think I know where you're going to go with this. It's Jeff Goldblum.
Yep.
Jeff Goldblum was a rapist in Death Wish. A fucking rapist. Pete in Indiana. Just give us a movie and see if we can guess. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the movie Peggy Sue Got Married.
I do know this movie, and I know where you're going here. One of the background guys, kind of the way Biff had his crew.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
Really?
Yeah, Jim Carrey. But he had already done some stuff before them that didn't work out major. Charlie in Delaware, just tell us. Tell us the movie.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I know where we're going here, and it's not so much that he had a walk-on, but his part got fucking cut to almost nothing. Nick Cage is just selling burgers, but he had a better fucking part.
Yeah, I never heard they cut him. I just thought he was just in the background.
No, he was a background being a fucking weirdo. And they're like, no, we can't deal with it. Michael, what's up?
You guys talked about Annie Hall earlier, right?
Yeah.
You know how many cameos were in Annie Hall?
Well, Jeff Goldblum was also in it.
Right.
Paul Simon was a cameo, but of course he was famous. And then Annie Hall's brother talking about driving into traffic is one of the funniest fucking scenes. It's Christopher Walken.
At night, crashing his car head on?
Yeah. So
now, what about? Do you know Sigourney Weaver was in it?
I don't think I do. What was she doing? Was she at the party?
She was a date. Yeah, she was somebody's date.
All right, let's see if we can find it. That's a good one, though, dude.
Also, Beverly D'Angelo was in it.
I don't remember that either. I don't think.
Yeah.
Do you see? Holy shit!
Well, that's her on the right.
Yeah. She was, I guess, his date at the end of the movie. Now I got to go back and watch that movie, even though Netflix doesn't want me to.
You have to listen to Netflix.
I do, man. I got to take all their recommendations. Hey, Keith, Pittsburgh.
Hey, Ronnie. Hey, there's actually two. Harrison Ford, he had a small role in Apocalypse Now.
Right.
He
Well,
played
look,
like a
here's the
lieutenant
thing, Earl. I don't want to give that up. Tell them just to tell us the movie. I would have given out this. I know this one. Give us the other movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The other one's American Graffiti. He was that hot rod guy in the Black.
God, thank you for nothing.
That was a major role in the movie.
Yeah, it was. And then remember his girl, that he was riding around with at first, I think, was she was in that fucking TV show that Valerie Bertinelli was in the 70s. Mackenzie Phillips. Very good. Yeah, she was like the 13-year-old riding around with him, and then she ended up in the other guy's car. But in Harrison Ford, the fucking funny thing is he's like driving around in a souped-up car, and the girl that he's with goes like this, "Ain't he neat?" I always remember that. Josh in New Hampshire.
Hey, guys, what about Coming to America?
Coming to America, I guess you're talking about like the fast food guy?
Samuel L. Jackson. Give me the money, motherfucker!
Oh, see, I wasn't going with that. I was thinking of the guy that we had done an Unmasked with.
Yeah, Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
Was there somebody in a barber chair? No, there's somebody in a barber chair.
Yeah, that's Eddie Murphy. He's wearing a bunch of fucking makeup. Hey, we got a break here. We'll come back and pick this up if you want to hold on. First, I'll go to this news. Wade in Toronto.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
A little bit of a spy report.
Spy report.
12-time All-Star manager Frank Robinson has passed on.
We've known that he was, ill, and we've been getting these reports for a long time, but truly one of the great fucking ball players all time.
Easily. 2-time MVP, only got to win it in both leagues, Triple Crown winner.
Yeah, man, could do everything. Literally do everything.
I mean, just put it this way, when you retired, only 3 other guys hit more home runs. 3.
And it never comes up, I think we can say it today. Beautiful man. Just a
gorgeous.
Fucking gorgeous guy.
I met him when I was 12 years old.
You're kidding me.
Yes. My brother and I were, oddly enough, we were going to a Mets-Giants game. He pulled out of a cab. We chased the cab down because we
Didn't
knew.
you guys just even hang around and look for ball players since you live close to Shea?
Yeah, all the time. But we were just besides ourselves because it was the first Hall of Famer we had met.
Yeah.
And he was just this cool guy, super cool.
Wouldn't you have loved to see him, little Earl,
hell yeah.
hanging around a fucking locker room with his baseball cards? Adorable.
My brother, one time my brother and I were walking to Flushing, which we had to cut through Shea, and the Cardinals come through. They were playing. They see my brother because he had really wavy hair. They make like a little semicircle around him. Like, how do you get the hair like that?
Who did this?
It was Ozzie Smith, Terry Pendleton, and Vince Coleman.
Okay. So
and they went,
don't carry the lead. Welch's grape juice, the tougher the grape, the tougher the antioxidants, which is why Welch's grows their grapes in the whiteout winters of Washington, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and upstate New York. It's also why Welch's farmers tell the grapes things to turn them tough. Things like the crusher has a blade with your name on it. The harvester is coming for you. You're going to be crushed. You're going to lie here all winter. Even your skins and seeds won't be spared. Your stems will be ripped apart. Your seeds are too puny. You're going to turn into pulp. You're going to get lost in the snow. Nobody will find you. This is the way they talk to grapes. You'll freeze alone. Nobody will remember your name. Then the grapes get the silent treatment. And after the grapes have sat there wondering if they'll ever hear anything again, they hear the harvester. And finally, the pulverizer as they're smashed into delicious, antioxidant-rich grape juice. The world's toughest antioxidants. Welch's. Tough as grapes. Wow. The future president is coming into the room. Great to see you, Judah.
Let me tell you something. It's great to be here amongst winners.
Wow.
And by that I mean also Americans.
Yes.
And I mean all of you here.
Now, the thing is, a lot of people when they're out on the campaign say stuff like that, but Judah actually means it.
Yep. And I've started a new party.
Oh, you are?
I'm starting my own party.
Good.
It's the USA America Party.
Wow. Wow. That's a party I could get behind.
Yeah. So if you're not voting for me, you're against the USA and America.
I don't want to be against that.
You know, there's so many people going to be running, but you managed to get the word out early.
Yeah. I mean, isn't Democrat, Republican, aren't those both divisive terms?
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What happened to just bringing USA and America together like we're doing?
Perfect.
You know,
this is the kind of fresh ideas that we're looking for in 2020. Chris, you want to say where Judah's going to be?
Judah's on his Future President tour. It's happening, and he's performing Monday, February 18th at the Village Underground in New York City. It's a benefit show for Columbia Law School's Native American Law Students Association.
Yes, and these are real Native American.
Yeah. It's not like
not any kind of you know what I'm saying.
Opponent, who's just making it up.
Yeah.
Then on March 6th, they'll be in Fort Collins, Colorado, with the Aggie Theater.
It's Colorado. Let's not mess.
No,
up
it's actually it's Colorado.
Oh, it is Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's a big. You know, maybe that's why my ticket sales are low, because everyone thinks I'm coming to Colorado.
Yeah.
I'm coming to. I think it's March 6th, Fort Collins, Colorado,
and then March 8th in Denver.
Wait, let's stop for a second, because Colorado also has the Fort Collins, so that even makes it more confusing.
Yeah, that's really confusing.
Yeah, it's you wouldn't think that. See, this is one of the problems in this country. This is what I'm going to fix. You know, why do we have a Colorado and a Colorado? It's just we don't need both.
Yeah,
you know?
I certainly don't.
Yeah.
In March 8th in Denver, Colorado, at the Oriental Theater, and then
so I'm going from Colorado, and then I'm going to Colorado.
Wow.
So it's Fort Collins, Colorado, and then Denver, Colorado. So just make
It's
sure
like
you
the
get that.
TV show Counterpart. How do you even know what dimension you're in?
And March 29th in North Adams, Massachusetts, at the High Mud Comedy Festival.
Oh, that's cool. I love Western Massachusetts. This is beautiful. Yeah.
So that's it. There'll be many more tour dates, more international dates, and USA America dates.
Great.
And maybe even some campaign stops along the way.
I love the fact that you're out there and you're doing it. We need a disruptor to the disruption that's been going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We don't need just billionaires and lifelong politicians. There can be a great comedian actor.
Right. And career athletes.
Right. Career athletes who've written books.
Yeah.
On how to beat up anyone.
And books with a lot of pictures, not just words.
Yeah.
You know, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So my books have pictures and words. That's like more words than any other book.
Well, I know there are more pictures in your book than I've ever seen. There will be 4 or 5 pictures a page.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
It's quality paint.
Yeah.
Do you know how many trees we murdered just to make this karate book? And that's also, I'm the only candidate who's anti-tree.
Yeah, you're against trees.
What have they ever done for humans?
Nothing. Matter of fact, they won't even answer me back.
Yeah. How many people, really? Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. How many people were little kids and you had a tree house?
Yeah.
And then by the time you were 8, 9, or 12, you were just evicted. And
yes.
How many adults are living in trees?
None.
A lot of kids are.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Makes me really uncomfortable thinking about trees now and why they're always close to children with no adult supervision.
Point. Yeah.
Yeah, they invite kids to climb up in them.
Yes.
The leaves are blocking the parents from the view.
Imagine if rock stars did that. It would be disgusting, and yet trees can get away with it.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Chris,
yes.
Do you vote? Would this be the first election that you allowed yourself to vote? Because you've always felt like an outsider.
Yeah, I've never voted once in my 35 years, Ron.
And you know what? I don't blame you, because I'll be honest with you. A lot of times, sometimes I won't vote because I don't like booths.
Restricting.
Yeah, they are restrictive.
Yeah, and again, things can happen there.
Right.
And, not cool.
Bad things.
Well, they're like a vertical coffin.
They are.
Yeah.
They're a vertical coffin, which would be a better way to have a coffin. You know what I mean? You could go a little deeper, but you would use less.
Save space.
Yeah.
Good for real estate.
Yeah. Great for real estate.
These are great ideas all around, really, on not just political and human rights issues, but just day-to-day life hacks.
If there's anyone that, like, when you get together after you're elected, I'd love to be in the cabinet. I don't know. I've never done that kind of stuff before.
You're in.
That quickly.
I mean, I heard the word love.
Ooh, I'm nervous now.
You can't trust those people who are like, oh, I've done this. This is my resume. Where's the love, man?
Yeah, where's the love?
You came in, you led with love.
Right. And I don't want experience in anything. That's exhausting to me. I like to start at the top,
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah, I've done that before. I was able to do that with my cable. You know what I mean? Like, I found that I got that. I'm like, this is confusing. And I can find
ingenuity, courage. That's what things that America needs.
Yeah, and that's what America used to be about.
Exactly.
You know?
When's the last time we went to the moon? As a country?
1970? Is
1970.
That it? Yeah. That's why. Pathetic. Yeah. And that's why some people think that we haven't been to the moon because we didn't go back.
Yeah. Now,
prove it.
Here's my theory. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of lazy astronauts out there.
Many.
These people are lazy. I think they're afraid to travel. And, you know, it's like, I'm sure they're, you know what? No, maybe they're just afraid to land.
Right.
Because they're flying all around.
Mm-hmm. They're fine with that.
They're never landing on them.
Yeah. Travel is exhausting, let's face it. It isn't easy, you know?
I mean, if you're going to become an astronaut,
right,
make sure you're the type of personality who likes to travel. That's all I'm saying.
Does that seem hard?
And I think that's something that our government and NASA has neglected for a long time.
A lot of astronauts, and this happened in the early 70s, they said, I don't want to be so far away from my kids. And he was just like, but you are an astronaut, dude.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Chris, you weren't even alive when we were on the moon. Gail, you weren't alive when we were on the moon.
China just went to the moon
was.
with a robot.
Earl had just gotten out of college.
Yeah, all these millennials, Gen Zs, never lived in a time when we were on the moon.
I know.
It shows you just how much that must hurt them.
Right.
You know?
It does.
And it's not,
That's probably why they feel inferior.
Yeah.
And why they're worried about the future, is they're like, we haven't been to the moon in so long. Like, what can we do as a generation?
Really? That's why everybody who was alive when we went to the moon, we were literally like, we can do anything.
Yeah. Now it explains my total lack of confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
You think space is like, oh, you need to get a couple miles higher than the highest cloud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I
You're
thought.
like, look at a cloud, go another 4 or 5 miles higher. That's boring. That's what's so bad about space travel now. They'll just go like, they're taking off, then you just hear them say, all right, we're here. We're up here now.
They don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
No sightseeing.
Yeah.
You travel that far, and you see and explore nothing.
This was always the scary thing, too, when we went to the moon. When they would be on the dark side of the moon and we would lose contact. And then you would see, like, Walter Cronkite going like, well, it's been 4 hours. We haven't heard a thing.
Oh, God.
You'd be a little kid. You're like, oh, my God.
See?
Please come on out on the other side of that.
Well, we've never even lived in that kind of excitement,
No.
have we, Chris?
No, we have Uber. That's about it. That's all we've had.
Uber's nice. You know, I mean, it's a car service for everybody.
Yeah, but it's on this planet. You know,
Yes, that's true.
I'd rather be, celestial.
Good word. Very good word, celestial.
Yeah, he's good with
I
that.
didn't think you were going to be able to pull that one out.
He did.
It's not Colorado. He struggles with that one.
Colorado.
Yeah.
The Future President Tour is happening now with Judah Friedlander. It's he'll be at the Village Underground Monday, February 18th in New York City. It's a benefit show for Columbia Law School's Native American Law Students Association. Then on March 6th, he'll be in Fort Collins at the Aggie Theater. March 8th, Denver at the Oriental Theater. March 29th in North Adams, Massachusetts at the High Mud Comedy Festival. JudahFriedlander.com for tickets and all of Judah's dates.
You know, one night I got in a conversation with Judah, and he loves a movie that I forced you to watch when you were a little kid, Angel Heart.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that in a million years.
I look back on it now, and I had my children watch movies that were not age appropriate.
Yeah. I had a lot of those.
Yeah.
My parents, they were like, if there was something that was just dumb and like a little violent, they wouldn't let me watch it.
Yeah.
But they would sometimes take me to like an art house, like European film that had like a lot of nudity.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
That was
I recommend it.
I think that's way better, right?
That was my criteria for some reason with my kids, where we go, this is a good movie. Oh, no, I don't want you to see that one. It's a bad movie.
Well, that was kind of interesting because I had seen, everything that you wanted. So, like, violence or sex was never an issue. But then when I was in college, people were like, how have you never seen any slasher movie?
Yeah.
Because you thought they were, like,
I thought they
not
were
worth it. Yeah, like, gratuitous.
Yeah.
For no good reason.
Yeah, it was just based on preference, not any kind of parenting whatsoever.
Right.
Like,
Probably made a good call.
Yeah.
I mean, I love horror movies, but I find them rarely well made.
We were just,
but I love it as a genre.
We were just talking about this with rom-com. If it's a great rom-com, they're the best movies, but most of them are not.
Yeah.
The same is true of horror. Yeah. Most slasher films, you don't even fall into it for a second, which is always my big.
Like, what would you say, like, most recently would you say this is a good horror movie?
Get Out was, I mean, I think that's kind of a modern classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just,
great.
Smartly put together and scary, you know, it was generally creepy, you know. That's the thing. A lot of the horror movies today, they don't have the creepy factor.
I like creepy.
Where something just creeps you out.
I prefer creepy to just like utterly violent.
You want a long tension leading towards the violence, you know, or whatever it happens to be. But you want that thing of where is this going?
Yeah.
Where is this going?
What was the Toni Collette one from last year?
Hereditary?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. It's supposed to be really good.
It's a little too scary for me.
She's also in one of the best, for lack of a better term, chick flicks I've ever seen.
What's that?
Muriel's Wedding.
Oh, yeah.
How funny is that movie?
Yeah.
I loved that movie.
Great movie.
Is that what broke her out? Was that her first big?
It's either her first movie or her first movie that.
Because she's had an amazing career.
Because that's going back to early 90s already, that movie.
She's had an amazing career for somebody who's not necessarily brought up as, like, one of the best, but the number of classic movies.
Yeah, she's great.
She was in the one with Bruce Willis. She was the mom in Sixth Sense.
She's so good in that, too. If you rewatch that movie, she's really fantastic.
The mother who doesn't know how to help is the most heartbreaking thing
and she's
ever.
Like lost patience with him, which is also really sad. Like she sees herself not being a good mom. Well, she's actually really fantastic in Hereditary. Like I will say, like her performance is great, but I was too scared. Like it bothered me.
Sometimes also movies they're not enjoyable. You know? It's just like you're just like watching brutality. Yeah. It's like if there's like gore or violence in a movie, I don't mind it if it's connected to stuff. Right. If it's just randomly out there, it's like, what's the point of watching it?
That's why, like, I always thought that Rosemary's Baby was always like a classic because it feeds into our regular paranoia of, is everybody else in on something but not me?
Yeah.
Can I trust anyone in my life? And when I saw that when I was a kid, I was like, shit.
Yeah. I haven't been able to watch that movie in years because it, when I moved into my building, it just all the people there kind of reminded me.
You have a building that even the hallways remind you.
It's like kind of creepy and old.
Yeah.
And so like when I moved in, I was like, so that's a movie I'll just put on the back burner until I leave.
Wow.
Yes, see it again. Hey, Ken in Nebraska. Ken.
Hi, I think that Hannibal Lecter, now that was a scary movie.
Well, if you, the first one, Silence of the Lambs, there's not a lot of violence in that movie.
It's scary, though.
And it's scary as shit.
Yeah.
And the scariest thing, I think, is that she has to allow this guy to get into her head.
Yeah.
And no one even knows this. Chris Stanley has based his life on multiple MIGs. The amount of times that he'll throw sperm at people as they come by our studio.
I got a good arm, Ron.
It makes it very difficult to work with him, though.
Yes, it is difficult, isn't it?
But it makes me feel good.
Because you never know. Chris, what's a movie that just scared the hell out of you? It could have been a kid or even recently.
As a kid, The Shining. I watched The Shining, and it was fucking terrifying. And, not a lot happened. Like, it doesn't get, really, the scary shit doesn't really start going down till the end of the film. At least to the kid.
I found Nicholson so scary in the opening things of even being interviewed.
There's, it's after the interview because he gets the job, and he's showing him around the hotel. And they take him into the bedroom, and he's like, this will be your quarters. And he looks into the kids' room, and he's just like, perfect for a child. And I don't know why, but that fucking creeps me out. And he hasn't even done anything scary yet. It's like, what do you mean perfect for a child?
The movie that really scared me in the last 10 years was Sex and the City 2.
What were they doing in Africa?
Terrifying.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite horror movies is... It came out in 1971. I saw it on video. I have it on DVD. It's called Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
Wow.
And,
I like the title.
Yeah, it's great. And it's, this is a creepy movie. So Jessica, if I'm remembering the story correctly, she's, I think she and 2 other guys, and they're like hippies, and they're going to this, to live in the summer at this house they're renting, which they haven't seen yet, and, in this little island off the coast of New York. And Jessica was just in a mental institution for 6 months.
Oh, damn it.
And she's just come back. And when they get to this place, they got to drive, and they got to take like a little boat ferry over there. Everyone in the town everyone's got some like weird, like sort of scar somewhere around their neck or somewhere. And then, one day Jessica's up in the attic and, she sees, this old photograph from like the 1800s. And when they first came to the house, when they first go to see the house, there's someone already there, young woman, red hair. And they're like, hey, we're renting this for the summer. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I've just been squatting here. And so they let her stay. But so when Jessica goes up to this attic, she looks at it. She sees a picture from like the 1800s, and there's a young woman in it who looks exactly like this woman who's staying here. So then Jessica starts thinking she's seeing vampires or ghosts, and then her friends who are visiting with her are like, Jessica, we thought you were better. Maybe you need to go back to the mental institution. But she really is seeing vampires.
She is. They are happening.
Dude, it's so good. So hardly any gore, and it's got that creepy music.
Right. And again, you can't trust anybody. No one can be trusted.
Yeah, the trailer's on YouTube. It's just a trailer will creep you out, man.
All right, we'll take a look at that. But there was like a genre for a while of hippies that you couldn't trust movies. You know what I mean? Like, they would show like, oh, you're in this fun place and you're going to live all these people.
Just like
another great one's Race with the Devil.
Right.
Where Peter Fonda and Warren Oates are out in some campers out in the desert with their wives, and off in the distance they see a human sacrifice going on. And then they're like, it's really far away.
Yeah.
But then they make a little bit of noise, and the people doing the human sacrifice see them, and then they're just chasing them by car the whole time. And then they think they've dodged them, and they keep stopping off these small little towns, and everyone is in that cult. Like
everybody.
Cops are in it.
Yeah,
everybody.
You can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, you were raising your hand?
Yeah, I saw that when I was 5 years old on a double feature with Jaws.
Oh, great.
Really?
At a drive-in, no less.
Yeah, well, drive-in was the perfect thing for a lot of, you could see 3 in a row, and they didn't have to be great because you were only spending a couple of bucks and you could be enjoying yourself. But, Earl, what was the TV movie that Spielberg did?
Duel.
Yes.
That's a good movie.
Fucking the truck is Jaws.
Yeah.
And that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's a very...
when I was a kid.
What's the actor's name again? Weaver?
That was Weaver. He was Festus on Gunsmoke. So he was a known guy.
Yeah, that's a movie where like a giant truck, this guy's driving across country, and a giant truck is just literally stalking him.
You never see the driver. You don't know whether...
Yeah, Dennis Weaver.
You don't know whether it's a guy who's crazy, a crazy truck driver, or a truck that is the devil. You don't know. And he never fucking lets you know.
And a lot of tension in that movie.
Yeah, the tension. He's always away, like, oh, thank God I got away. And then you just see the truck in the back. You're like, no! You're so exhausted when you're a kid. Let's go over here to Scott. Scott in New Jersey.
Hey, everybody. Great show. The one movie that made me feel like I was having a panic attack, the whole damn thing, was Red State. Kevin Smith, just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Oh, yeah, I saw that when it came out.
I don't know that movie. What's the movie?
Kevin Smith made this. It was a low-budget movie, and it stars, go down to it, Chris.
I didn't know he made is it a horror movie, or is it just really tense?
It's kind of the tension that is a horror movie. John Goodman is in it, and John Goodman is literally one of the best fucking actors
he's great.
in the world. And people don't give him the credit because he did sitcoms and stuff, but really he's as good as anybody.
Yeah.
Let's go over here to Tim in Boston.
I got to check that movie out. I hadn't even heard of it.
Hey, Bennington, how are you?
Good.
Hey, I wanted to ask Judah if he had seen Annihilation last year, Natalie Portman, Oscar Isaac. It was billed as a sci-fi thriller, but it has some really creepy, weird horror elements to it.
Yeah, I saw it. Did you see it, Chris?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
What did you think?
I wasn't a big fan of it.
I can tell you this. It was one of those that, like, I go, well, I'll have to see this a second time because I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
I don't know why that other dimension.
You know, I didn't see it, and I think I have it figured out, though.
Wow! He should be the next president of the United States. Judas.
I have not seen the movie, so I guess you guys didn't like it, and
no,
and you did
I don't
like
think
it,
that
right?
I hated it. I just don't think that I got the full premise of it.
I didn't enjoy it, but I could watch it again, but I didn't enjoy it. Because I had the same exact question as you did.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this thing even, what's going on with that thing?
Oh, I wouldn't understand that movie. I'm like, if it's one of those movies where there's like so much plot twists and stuff, I'm literally like, who's this guy? What's who's she? What's happening?
Stop the movie now.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not good at those types of things.
Or I don't like when it's like you're getting into like the business of something and this like heavy plot that isn't happening on screen.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're just like, oh man, I kind of tuned out during that monologue, so now I don't know what anything is.
I saw Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yeah.
Not a clue the whole movie what was going on, and I think I slept through most of it.
I got news for you. I've watched that movie like 4 or 5 times. Still not exactly sure what they did, but there's tone and great English voices, so I put it on at night when I go to sleep.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah. It's a really good nighttime movie.
The Judah Freelander Future President Tour is happening, and he's performing Monday, February 18th at the Village Underground in New York City. It's a benefit show for Columbia Law School's Native American Law Students Association.
Also, just for that show, just so you know, I'm donating all my proceeds to this organization. So it's a regular show. It's just a stand-up show, but I'm just donating my stuff to that. A friend of mine is at Columbia Law School. She's Native American, and it's her organization. They're going off to do a trip out to several different reservations and to do like free lawyer work for some of the Native Americans that live there who are older and can't afford anything and need to do stuff. And so they're like the good kind of lawyers, basically.
Right.
So not the bad kind of lawyers, because normally I would not be doing a benefit for lawyers. I mean, these lawyers, they just need money.
Well, here's the thing.
These kids are cool.
If you get in trouble and you can't afford a lawyer, you're in real trouble. You know what I mean? Like, if someone sues you or you need to sue somebody, it's just how this Roger Stone, it's going to cost him $2 million by the time that he's done. How does a regular person fight anything with the government if it's going to be $2 million? What happens is people settle. They just go, well, what's the lowest that you'll possibly give me? And I know people doing serious time when they should be doing 1/4 of that. I'm not saying they're innocent, but they don't get the same kind of time that rich people get.
Yeah.
Right.
And Judah will be in Fort Collins March 6th, Denver March 8th, and March 29th, North Adams, Massachusetts at the High Mud Comedy Festival. JudahFreelander.com for tickets and all of Judah's dates.
Now, Judah, I remember you did that horror movie Feast that they put together on TV.
Yeah, that was part of the Project Greenlight.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was
see that come down.
I thought that was legitimately had scary stuff and legitimately funny stuff in it.
And he seemed like a guy that could do the job. Like,
that director's great.
Yeah.
John Gulager.
Right. I was watching, and he didn't look like remember Project Greenlight?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Well, a lot of times they would come in and you were like supposed to be on the studio side, and I'm like, no.
Right.
I really like that this guy is holding on to the stuff that he believes in.
Yeah, he's like the real deal. Yeah, he's a really interesting, unique guy. Yeah. And also the guys who wrote it, because it was like a sort of a double competition. There was the director, and then he was directing a script by there it is, Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton. Those guys are still like top horror movie writers.
Is that right?
They write so many movies. Yeah.
Let's go over here to Mary in Tallahassee. Mary, what do you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, folks? I caught the Eli Roth interview with Jason Ellis the other day, and he was talking about a movie he did called Clown, and I looked up the trailer for it, and it looks extremely scary. Check it out.
Eli Roth has done a lot of the horror. I think isn't he behind the Hostel thing?
Yeah, he's Hostel.
Yeah. So he's become a guy, and he's friends with Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Quentin thinks that he's, a strong filmmaker. Quentin has put him in with stuff, but it is that thing where you have to make it most of the time on a low budget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not getting stars, so you got to make this thing work right away.
Yeah, I think comedies and horror movies are always better low budget.
That's interesting.
Always. Yeah.
I notice, like, when they give a comedy money, they tend to blow stuff up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It just sucks generally.
Yeah.
It's like there's hardly any big budget comedies that are funny.
There's
low budget, funny.
There's nothing funny about a tower falling over, and it's happened time and time again. When people think, I'll make this giant... It even happened to Spielberg in 1941.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was the biggest director in the world, and he's going, now I'll try a comedy. He went and grabbed everybody. And it was like some of the worst reviews.
I still never saw that, but that was a huge flop critically and I think at the box office, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that there's not parts of it that don't work. There are. But it's just like a comedian's act. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I also, and it's the reason why I love your special more than any other, you did your special so low budget when everybody else is doing crane shots and the giant.
I've never
ridiculous...
understood why there's a crane shot in a comedy special. Like one thing, it's one thing if it's a fixed crane shot, like, oh, let's get that high angle.
Right.
But when it does that swooping thing,
it's
are there
swooping in.
birds watching your show and just flopping around everywhere? I don't get it.
And I don't even like the enormous stage and the giant arena.
No.
Because that isn't.
What about a big set?
Yes.
That's related to the comedian in some way.
Or no microphone.
Yeah. Oh, with the little level.
Yeah, or taped to the face.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
We saw.
What is this, theater?
Yeah.
What, are you going to tell me to break a leg before the show? Don't tell a comedian to break a leg before a show. I didn't go to Acting Theatre Academy in London. Get that shit out of here. Wrong medium.
Yeah. The fact that they'll just be on, say, like an enormous chair that, you know, they spend a ton of money on.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. When you see Judah's thing, I watched him shoot stuff with it, and he'll just have this little camera in one angle, and it's in black and white.
Yeah, it was
just
fantastic.
Thanks so much.
There's never a thing where you go, oh, look, the audience is laughing, so this must be funny.
Yeah.
I've always hated that.
Yeah.
And so many times the reaction shot isn't off that joke.
No, it's off. It could be even off another show. Yeah, for real. Not exaggerating. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I think I've even been on something before where they're like, "Hey, do you mind us filming?" Yeah, we're just getting some reaction shots. I'm like, "For what?" And it's like, "It's for some other project." I'm like, weird.
I've never even liked when they do the half-hour comedy specials and they shoot them all at the same place, and it's like,
oh yeah,
you know, they're in Atlanta or New Orleans or something, and then they just change the name of it. But it's the
same intro.
Yeah, and they're young comics, so the audience have no idea who they are, but they're going crazy when they're coming out.
Yeah, I'm on TV.
Somebody just told them go crazy when this guy comes out. What's wrong with just walking out and winning over an audience?
Yeah, that's why I like Dice's second album is so much fun. Because it's just like, I don't know, it sounds like there's like 30 people in the audience,
right?
And it's like, I don't even know if anyone was excited to see him.
Yeah,
and it's just it's like I think comedy's more like jazz than rock and roll, really. You know,
right.
you know what I mean? Rock and roll can be big and stuff, but jazz is more intimate, and it's more of an intimate art form at its core.
It definitely is. I mean, a good small theater can be really exciting.
Yeah,
but there is a point where it becomes too big. Of a theater.
But I've been in some theaters where it's like 3,000 seats.
Yeah.
If it's well designed,
right,
it can be incredible. And I've been in rooms that seat 50 people, and if it's poorly designed, it's horrendous. Yeah, there's a lot into the art of actually making a nice comedy room. Yeah.
Well, it is true, and also it's done. People, like, let's say out in the middle of the country or whatever. Most people designing a comedy room have never been in a good comedy room. They just know that they have a bar that isn't working. You know what I mean?
It's designed restaurant first.
Right.
And then comedy. Yeah.
And I think what's so interesting at the Cellar is that you have 3 different rooms, right?
Yeah.
That you have to have really different tone in each room, and they're coming from the same audience pool. You know what I mean? So you can't say those people are worse or better than these people.
Yeah. Each room does have a different vibe.
Yeah. And you just have to just slightly realize the room that you're in.
Yeah.
And it can, you can walk into the Pussycat and have too much energy. And
that room I think is better coming in more casual,
right,
and not being so professional.
Yeah,
because it's a casual space.
It really is. People are in couches and stuff like that. And if you can find that spot, they love you. But if you're up there going, "Hey, everybody, New York,"
it's too much. It's too much.
New York City, make some noise. Just like in the Pussycat.
No, that's a great observation you made, because I've seen that at so many rooms. I've seen it at open mics too, where someone will come up with an act like this is some huge sold out fancy show. It's like, dude, there's 15 people down here. It's a little dinky room. It's a Tuesday. It's like, if you visited someone's house at 11 p.m., you wouldn't be coming in there just barging in high energy and stuff. If it was noon on a Saturday, you might do that. You know what I mean? So it's like you're right. The room is part of. It's almost like it's part of the audience.
Absolutely.
So that's a great observation.
And the sound, whatever they do with lighting.
Yeah.
I always dislike it if it's a big theater and they have that thing where the lighting is so strong on stage that you just get a black curtain. You don't really see the audience at all. And Carlin used to love to work that way. Carlin would go out
and not like to see the audience.
Not like to see the audience at all, because he had his.
I like to listen more than I'd like to see.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You like to be able to hear them, but you don't. Need to
I've
see
actually thought about it. If you had the choice, a theoretical choice where you had to do one or the other, go deaf or go blind. It's like, it'd be like, well, go blind.
Yeah.
Because comedy so much is audio.
Right.
Is listening to you and listening to them,
You're listening.
If you're deaf. It's like, I don't know. Boy, I mean, then you have to see them.
Yeah, then you're just like, well,
you have to see them.
Just like, happy faces.
Yeah. But that'd be interesting, and I'm sure, I think there's deaf and blind comedians.
Yeah, there is.
And there have been. So that would be a fascinating conversation, actually, to see how they do that.
Right. And also, the fact that if you don't get that laugh, even if you're seeing people smiling and go, are you sure? You know what I mean? And of course, you can't hear a heckler. So you could be doing your act where some idiot is yelling shit out.
Could get a laugh.
This is like a nightmare now. Yeah. It's like going back to a horror movie. Just the thought of that is terrifying.
Yeah. So you don't mind walking out on the stage and not being able to see the audience at all. You're just I like to see a little bit, but I like them to be dark. I do not like when audiences are lit. And so many comedy rooms, the audience is just way too brightly lit. It's like when you go to a movie theater. Right. It's like if everything's lit, people aren't going to be paying attention. Yeah. These people are going to see those people and then might start hitting on them. And it's like they just lose focus. It's like it helps people focus on the show. So I like dark. Yeah. Not pitch black, but dark. When you're out on the road, do you go in and check out the club if you've never been there before?
Sometimes I do. Yeah. If I can, I do. Yeah.
In theater, it's always interesting that they ask you to come in and say, do a mic check and all that. And you're like, but not one club says, can you be here at 5? And it's much more important because their sound is always worse than a theater.
Theater and music venues generally have really good sound.
Yeah.
And so many comedy clubs. I mean, the one fucking thing you need is good sound. And most of them, it's amazing how they put almost no work into that at all.
Yeah.
And they don't even have anyone running the board.
We were actually talking about a very famous room last time I talked to you, about a very famous room in New York, has a great name, historic name, and has terrible sound.
Yeah.
And that we said, if they let us take over that room, we would put in great sound and we would turn that.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah. We would because it has a name that everybody in the country knows. Yeah. Everybody in the world knows this thing.
Yeah, no, it would be great. Yeah.
And yet, why? What? That's such a mystery. I know you got to get going, buddy. You got an appointment.
Well, the president of South America just I just got a fax.
Okay. Fax on your phone.
Yeah, he wants to meet, and it looks like he's going to endorse me for president.
Wow.
That's incredible.
The president of South America.
This fucking thing is over now. The president of South America?
Trump, Kamala Harris, Biden, Warren, Cory Booker. I don't see them getting the endorsement from the president of South America.
I don't see that happening either.
I definitely don't.
So I think this is a really big thing. So I gotta go meet him.
Do me a favor. Don't peak too early. Okay. Build your right up to election.
Yeah.
Right up to election.
Slow build.
The next president of the United States, folks. Come on.
Judah Friedlander, future president tour. It's happening, and he's performing Monday, February 18th at the Village Underground in New York City. It's a benefit show for Columbia Law School's Native American Law Students Association. And on March 6th, Judah will be in Fort Collins at the Aggie Theater, March 8th in Denver at the Oriental Theater, and March 29th in North Adams, Massachusetts at the High Mud Comedy Festival. Go to JudahFriedlander.com for tickets and all of Judah's dates.
And as usual, for all my comedy shows, if you're a Bigfoot, you get in free.
Wow. That's great for them.
Generous.
Great to see you, Judah.
Thank you so much for the love. Thank you.
We do love Judah Friedlander. All right, Chris, we got to take a break here.
Yeah, let's take a break.
We'll be right back, Bennington.
Hey, Judah, the news is sad. It's a mad world. Please make it better. Defend us, and we'll make sure that you win. Your reign will begin in 2020.
Hey, Judah. Judah just said to me, how many songs do you guys got?
Get those.
What was the other song that was done about him, the Judah for President song?
That was by the Goddamn Comedy Jam.
Yeah, but what was the name of that? They just written an original, right?
Yeah, they did write an original. I'll find that right now.
No, you don't have to, dude. This is fine. I just asked you a question.
Okay.
We're all on the same page.
Just like two friends hanging out.
This mic is terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. I think yours might be worse than mine. Like sometimes this one annoys me.
Yeah.
But I think those are.
I like to say this. It's an unproduced show. And by the way, I don't know whether my mic sounds terrible or these headphones. I can never even tell you.
It's those headphones. I know for a fact.
But remember I was going to work with earbuds and you're like, oh yeah, we'll take care of the whole thing?
Yes.
How many months ago was that?
That was at least 2 months ago.
No. I'll tell you this, Obama was president.
Oh, that's many more months ago.
Yeah.
It's like 19, 20 months ago.
Thanks for the fact. A gift from Sherry's Berries is the perfect way to make a big impression this Valentine's Day. You can never go wrong with their signature dipped Valentine's strawberries, dipped in milk, dark or white chocolatey goodness for any discerning palate.
She'll fall in love with every bite, topped with decadent toppings, chocolate chips, heart and glitter sprinkles, always fresh, always tasty, always worth the wait. Perfect companion to a candlelit dinner, a bouquet of flowers, or a night on the town.
Valentine's, made easy. Arrive fresh with 100% Sherry's Berries guarantee. Shipped anywhere nationally. Give sweet somethings to your long-distance love. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Send her the Valentine's gift of her dreams at the price of your dreams, just starting at $19.99 plus shipping and handling.
Plus, order now and make this Valentine's really special by adding a dozen red roses for just $19.99 more. Ship with your Sherry's Berries at no extra charge. Go to berries.com, click the microphone, and enter our code Bennington at checkout. That's BERRIES.com. Click the microphone, enter code Bennington. Order today.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show.
Upgrade to Dish and take your home TV anywhere. No matter where you are with the Dish Anywhere app, you can stream live satellite TV, watch everything on your DVR, and choose from thousands of on-demand movies on the go.
Enjoy your favorite shows and the most popular movies with just your phone, tablet, or computer, even if you're not able to be in the comfort of your own home. Upgrade to Dish for better technology, better customer service, and a better TV experience.
The Dish Anywhere app. Just one reason Dish stays tuned into you. Watching TV anywhere requires internet-connected Hopper with Sling or Hopper 3 and compatible device.
To learn more, dial 1-844-CALL-DISH or visit dish.com. Dish, tuned into you.
Welcome back to Bennington.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Ron Bennington, Robert Kelly, Jim Florentine, and Rich Voss are all performing Friday, March 8th at the Keswick Theater in Glenside, PA. Go to keswicktheater.com for tickets.
Yeah, I gotta think of a joke about Keswick. You know, it's not an easy place. And I know you're working on your jokes, and it's up on our Instagram stories where both you and Vito were getting some help from a very subdued Louis J. Gomez.
Yeah.
He's not the Louis J. Gomez we know.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, he wasn't rattling like a rattlesnake, that's for sure. He was he was pensive even.
Tuckered out.
Maybe he had heard that, he got some kind of bad news from his doctor.
Maybe.
I bet that's it.
I should have asked.
I wouldn't.
It's too personal.
I don't want the truth.
Well, he and I are close,
From your affair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we got to know each other during that.
Love affair. I just want a little scratchiness to the way I sing. I wish I had that fucking scratchiness. I'd be the happiest person.
A little gravel?
Yeah. Just a little bit of, we never asked for money. We're waiting for Dan to get here. We haven't seen him anywhere, but I saw this up on the company news. Eminem loves Chris D'Elia's impression of him.
Yeah.
I don't know this impression.
I don't think I know it either. And I love an impression, so.
Let's see if I can do one. My name is Slim Shady.
Too gravelly this time.
Nothing could ever be too gravelly, and I think Earl agrees here.
Or is Chris's impression of Marshall Mathers?
When I'm lounging on Pinterest, fucking your mistress. I'm playing in a hand trick with Danica Patrick. I'm saying an accent. Nick Cannon's fantastic.
Wait, let's stop it for a second. Earl, you're the rap guy. What do you think?
A little raspy. Not.
Just what you're talking about.
No, he's. Eminem's not raspy.
Why would you just take the raspy thing that Gail said to me and say it now?
Can
you understand the bear trap you just sat down in? Oh, Dan's here. Let's bring in Dan.
Here comes Dan Perlman.
Oh, he's got his own song.
Yes, he does.
Welcome to the show. Dan Perlman is here. He's got shows and gigs. Maybe you've heard of his Flatbush misdemeanors. No one has a better demeanor. Everybody wants to book the
Hold on, the Pearl?
Yeah, everybody calls him the Pearl.
Yeah, I didn't
Ron,
know
you
that.
didn't know that? Yeah, we've all been calling him the Pearl.
That's like the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me.
Get out of here.
Get out of town, the Pearl.
Pearl.
As I'm always called.
Love the Pearl.
Got to love the Pearl.
That could be a good name for your first album.
The Pearl or Gotta Love the Pearl?
Pearls
Gotta
of
love the Pearl.
What about pearls of wisdom?
Oh.
Yes. I was I used to Pearl was in high school, people would say that.
Yeah.
Perla. That was what my Spanish teacher said. And I really caught
I
on.
had a great one for it could just be called Pearl Necklace and there's just jizz all around your neck.
That's a good album cover, yeah.
Standing over top of you, raining cum down.
Yeah.
But you know what's going to be confusing? Is it a Tim Dillon album? Is it a Perlman album? That's my only problem.
Ultimately, they're all Tim albums. We're in a Tim world.
Tim put out like a thing where he was like the only person who's on Fuck Jerry's side. I'm so mad at this bit that he did because it was just like he put up his favorite memes and they were just these stupid made up memes. I don't even know whether we can find them again if they were on Instagram stories. I don't understand how things just disappear so fast.
Yeah, that's the magic of the Instagram stories. You have just 24 hours and that's all you get.
So you're not on the stories, Chris.
This is stories.
Wait, go back because now
you got it.
Yeah. Go ahead. And I don't know. What are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Let's get to the news of the day, the really important issues. I stand behind Fuck Jerry. Hot take. One, I respect Jerry Seinfeld, and I like the website that he set up so comedians could share memes, and I don't think they're thieves. They've never stolen any of my memes, and I have some of the best memes in the goddamn business, like this one. A lot of people don't know that this role is actually played by a man. Or this meme. Sandra Bullock was also in Speed. Or this meme, which shows clearly that alcohol has destroyed the Irish race. Or this meme, late stage capitalism, the Knights of Malta, and Susan Boyle. You can see the way all of those things
fucking hilarious. So that's why we want him to jizz on you for the album cover.
The Pearls performing Monday, February 18th at Littlefield in Brooklyn with our partner Don Shirla, Joe Firestone, and Langstrom Kerman. DanPerlmanComedy.com for tickets, and Dan's web series Flatbush Misdemeanors is available at flatbushmisdemeanors.com and on Twitter and Instagram at Dan J. Perlman.
Let me just say this. There is a famous album called Pearl. Anybody know it? Janis Joplin's last album.
Oh, I did not know.
Pearl.
There's a Stevie Wonder song called Pearl also.
Let's not get into Stevie Wonder.
The two of them fight like
Earl
cats and dogs.
Be too raspy. I think that he just heard moments before. By the way, Earl also made this mistake. In the song Drops of Jupiter, Earl believed that the lyric was, Van Halen is overrated. Not even when I'm in here and I look at him, I enjoy it. When I'm home, when I'm on the crosstown bus, when I'm doing science experiments, I'm still laughing. Dan Perlman's so funny. Of course, Dan, you got your finger in every pie out there. But Dan said something to me that was interesting. He goes, this business. I go, why? What do you think's wrong with it? He goes, Jews. And I go, that can't be it.
The Pearl.
I couldn't wait to see what I said. I never remember the things I say, but I did say that. That's track.
What's going on in your world right now? What's happening with you, Dan?
Man, I don't know. It just always feels, like things change, but it all just feels like it's just the same. But just doing a lot of stand-up, and then the Flatbush thing we're still going ahead with, and there's some cool updates soon, but it's all just moving along.
Why did your friend Emily say that you lack confidence? You think that the other shoe is going to drop. By the way, is she going to go back when the stand reopens?
Yeah, she will, yeah.
She's going to be stand forever?
Yeah.
When does the stand reopen?
It's keeping us all in suspense.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Fun.
It's very difficult to get moving.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in New York is...
There's a lot of rules.
The same reason that Dan gave. I mean, it's a very, it's a controlling thing that happens in the city.
That's how it feels with anything in the city. It seems like when there's like construction or anything, it just seems like it's a giant ditch for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And then in like 2 weeks, everything gets built.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a 3-year period where it's like, what are we waiting for?
And if you live in the suburbs, overnight they can put 3 Taco Bells in your own yard. You know what I mean? They move so fast.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you want a nail salon? It's there. It's all tacky, and it looks like it's going to have to be knocked down within 5 years. But they do it quick.
They were working on a 4-story apartment building with, like, I'm not even kidding, maybe like 8 apartments in my neighborhood. They've been working on it for like 9 years.
Yeah.
And they just finished it. And it's just like, I went in there because I did an open house. I was like, what was all this commotion
What was
about?
it for?
Well, why?
57th Street, they've been working on 4 giant skyscrapers at the same time forever. And I remember when I was told that the Hard Rock on 57th Street is out because they were going to put in this high rise. And I'm like, what could you make that would, be more valuable than the Hard Rock on 57? There was lines.
Yeah.
Right? And then I remember I said to Johnny, I go, this is 17 years ago, and these buildings are not finished.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 3 or 4 of them. And I said to Johnny, you move to Times Square, and the Hard Rock will disappear. I go, nobody will know. Obviously, I was very wrong. I was very wrong.
There's something funny also in all those like construction drawings, like they were doing like Hudson Yards on 34th Street. Every like architecture drawing, it always makes you think it's going to be like the future.
Right.
They always make these new buildings look like they're going to be the Jetsons.
And they always leave out the buildings that are around them.
Right.
You can see a postcard where it looks like there's one beautiful building is surrounded by nothing.
It's like, wow, it's going to look like, man, it's just going to be the year 3000. And then they build it, and it's just a building.
I don't know why anybody would be an architect. I would stab myself in the neck before I would be an architect. Because they have these dreams that don't come true all the time. The other day, I'm down on like Mulberry Street, and I look up and I see the Freedom Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit, that's where the Twin Towers were. You know what I mean? That was always the thing when I would come out of the subway, find the towers and know that was south. That would be that thing. And I went and look how much they fought about the Freedom Tower, and no one gives a shit. I don't know if anyone's in there or anything about it.
Nobody.
I know nothing about it.
No.
I worked, it was a few years ago, but I worked for 3 months at the 9/11 Museum.
Yeah. Were you funny comedian?
Yeah, you just make jokes. If people look sad, you just run some bits on them, But a lot of times people would go in, and it was only tourists that would go. Nobody from New York
has ever gone in.
I don't know anyone who's ever been in there.
That was the only time I'd have been there, was when I was literally working there. But a lot of people would go in, and because it's a museum, but they thought it was part of the Freedom Tower, so they would try to go up. They go down all these steps, and they think it's just like a giant thing. They go through probably like an hour of security to get into this thing.
And then they find out they're not going to the top of the tower.
They're not going to the top of the thing.
They're not going anywhere.
They're just looking at a demolished building.
They did a video thing for me. I was, because I was on the air the night of 9/11. So they asked if they could shoot a video. It was just a close-up of me going, it was an awful day. Terrible day. It was a day of terrorism and heroism.
One take. That was perfect. Yeah. Thanks so much.
God, I was like, I wasn't done.
You just played out on an endless loop. It's just on a giant screen.
Your face projected on the side of the computer.
Giant.
It's just fire behind it.
There's a big hunk of spinach. It was right on my lip. It was a terrible day.
Just a giant Oz head on the side. Why is this here?
Sometimes
I guess he's right. You can't say he's wrong.
I have crowd work with tourists, and they'll go, I'm like, what have you done? They go, 9/11. And I go, really? So you time travel. And then I'll go like this. They say always remember, but I can't fucking forget. I want to forget. And they're just like, I didn't know.
I remember this one time. It's really funny talking to people who were not like here at that time. Yes. So it's always like funny. They're almost here.
Oh, okay.
We're almost literally
so
here.
Quiet,
but I remember my grandmother was talking to like a cousin of hers or something. And she comes running up to me. She's like, oh my God, did you hear this? You know that her husband was on a train on the way to the city that day. And thank God he got off the train. And I was like, I was here.
Yes.
So that's not shocking to
That's
me.
almost every day working there. You had to hear stories from other people what they did that day, and it was always like, I was just at home in Seattle, and I couldn't believe. And you got to be like, wow, you were just at home, and they're like, I know, I was shocked. I remember turning on Seattle Morning News; it was right there.
Eddie Trunk told me something that really, like, he was very sincere about it. And Eddie lives in Jersey, but he was in Vegas when it happened, and he said he saw it on TV and just ran over and pulled the curtain of his hotel room because he was on the Vegas Strip to see if anything was, because we did have this stupid feeling of this is happening, this is not going to
It was
end.
like an alien invasion or something. Like we thought it was fucking Independence.
Fighter planes coming down the Strip, just fucking shooting people.
I called my grandmother that day. I was from a payphone. She said, "Christopher, the country's under attack. The planes are crashing everywhere." Like,
The
Jesus,
country
Grandma.
Chris, the country was under
Your
attack.
grandma wasn't wrong.
And there was 4 different places that happened.
It's just not Vegas.
People
Like,
were,
all right, lady.
people said that I talked to people who said they were worried and they went to look at the Hollywood sign to see if somebody would try to.
Oh God, the money in that would be.
And somebody in Pittsburgh, there's a tower, like a big fucking tower.
Space
somewhere.
Needle?
Oh,
No, that's Seattle.
that's Seattle.
Your girlfriend is from fucking Pittsburgh. I'm not going to repeat.
Famous.
Repeat the story now because you said Space Needle.
Space Needle.
By the way, that's also what she calls his dick.
Thank you.
That's a
The
compliment.
Space Needle, long and thin. What is it, Chris? You want to say
Oh,
something?
I'll let everyone know that the Pearls perform Monday, February 18th, Littlefield, Brooklyn, with Opara Nancherla, Jill Firestone, and Langstrom Kerman. Go to Dan Perlman Comedy.
Great show.
I know.
DanPerlmanComedy.com for tickets. And Dan's web series, Flatbush Misdemeanors, is available at FlatbushMisdemeanors.com. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Dan J. Perlman.
I will bring this up about 9/11. I won't say another word. But Earl was celebrating with the people in Jersey, the Trump stuff.
You were?
Television. Yeah, he was jumping up and down. Going,
I didn't really think that happened, but I guess it did.
I don't recall
the
this.
President of the United States saw it, Earl, so don't act like he's a fucking liar.
Cheering on rooftops.
He's honest if he's nothing.
All right, I'm going to get it out of the way. Van Halen is overrated. I can't stop with that, Earl. I love it too much. I want to, I know you're a basketball fan, right?
Love it.
Knicks,
Yes.
worst, shittiest fucking team alive, are worth $4 billion, more than any other NBA franchise, and worth more than probably any other football franchise, or maybe there might be the Cowboys worth more than them, and nothing else. It's unbelievable.
It's really annoying.
Yes.
It's really annoying that someone could be so bad at something, as bad as Dolan is at owning that team.
What did Dolan pay for the Knicks? Look into that, Chris.
And he gets to just fuck up constantly. All he does is mess up. And just inherited all this. He's the biggest argument against being able to just inherit wealth. He's like just one of those like stupid young kings that just gets a throne that he just shouldn't have.
And when people act like you should be able to give billions of dollars to your children, why? Yeah, give them some money, but billions?
No.
I mean, you play Monopoly. It doesn't work if you just go, now I want to give all my stuff to somebody who just walked in. Right. You know what I mean? You got to be able to earn it. Earl, your family left you what, a saddle?
He has to pay people because he plays in a band. I don't know if you ever heard his band. They're horrible.
I will tell you this.
Yes.
And I'm not making this up, and we've had a lot of rock bands come here and play stuff. James Dolan was booked to play here. He brought in more equipment than I've ever seen any fucking band. Why would he have more equipment than Leonard Skinner? You know what I mean?
I heard.
Why?
I read he would sometimes play on the team's private plane and make the players listen to his band.
Oh my God!
Which it's like, of course, Porzingis wants out.
Yeah.
I would hit the emergency exit.
There's not one black guy who wants to hear a classic rock cover song ever.
That's a whole team of 21-year-olds.
Yeah, the Garden, they had the Christmas party one year. They had their Christmas party at the Hard Rock one year, And they had former players that they had to sit through 2 sets before they were. You had to.
Now, was it doing covers or originals?
You couldn't tell. I mean, it was
that bad.
Yeah, and everyone's just kind of like, they were literally counting the minutes when the set was over, and so they could walk out.
He is. Oh yeah, his whole feud with Charles Oakley. Yeah, he's just
terrible.
He's just such a mess. This guy.
I know Vito's about your age, and he's a big Knicks fan.
Yeah.
And neither of you guys really have any memory of when this was a great franchise.
No, I remember being very young at a game with my dad and Michael Jordan beating them.
Yeah.
And my dad just sort of hanging his head, real defeated and sad. And that just sort of set the tone for the next 20 plus years.
Yes.
It's one of my earliest memories.
And, this was at one point, like in the 70s, was one of the great fucking franchise of all time.
Clyde Frazier,
you
all those
don't
guys.
need Vito. That's okay. I didn't know he was done cutting something.
Earl the Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the original.
We've had them both on the show.
Yeah.
And we still treat them like they're rock stars.
They were.
Like when fucking Walt Frazier came in, we were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then Earl's dad was like, what? And then when Earl the Pearl came in, I felt the same fucking way. Because he's from the fucking playgrounds of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He taught these fucking idiots in New York how to play the game.
Yeah, but I had at least some memories of the Ewing years where they kind of made the run and
yeah.
Here's the funny thing: the NBA has never been this fucking big as it is right now, and I couldn't believe Super Bowl week and even the playoffs. ESPN would be starting with basketball news, and I go, "What has happened with basketball?" When I was younger, and Dr. J won with the fucking Sixers, we had to wait till 11 o'clock at night to see the playoff games rerun.
Right.
The entire city was going like this. Don't fucking tell me what happened in the game. I want to watch it tonight at 11:30.
When they sneak it in a half clause before.
Yeah.
Before they go to commercial on the news.
And now look at this fucking game. The game is unbelievably big.
Yeah, I just feel sort of numb. I don't really have a team. They've just been so bad for so long.
What you won't believe.
Yeah.
In a town of the Yankees and the Giants who have won championship, New York at its core is a basketball town.
I remember, yeah.
It's going to when they get a winning team, this place is going to go fucking crazy.
5 years ago when Jeremy Lin, the Asian guy, when he went on his run, that was like...
Was that really 5 years ago?
It was 5 years ago.
I feel like I would have thought 2.
And you remember it... I remember that as being like 6 months. He had like 4 good games.
Yeah.
And he just took over...
Weeks, right?
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks, and everybody was wearing his shirt.
Yeah. It's like...
Knicks games are on every bar.
He was like the cover of like Time magazine.
Dolan bought the Knicks for $300 million.
$300 million, and now it's worth $4 billion.
$4 billion.
And he says he's been offered $5 billion.
Yeah.
Some fucking lunatic called him up, all drunk. I'll give you $5 billion. And he's like, no, my band plays. I keep all my band equipment.
What, would I just take it out of the garden? I'd have to find a whole other place.
If you can find a fucking song by him on YouTube somewhere. And not the one where he was...
Oh, with Harvey?
Yeah, he brought up Harvey Weinstein.
You would... He sang about Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah,
you would think that he would just let himself play the national anthem every game.
Yeah. Just the fact that he sits there at 4 feet tall.
It's JD in a straight shot.
Come on, man. What kind of fucking old school name is that? You should live in Houston if you have a band called The Great. Let's see if he does a cover song, so we could not just hate the song.
Right, you can actually judge him as a player.
Because he acts like he's a fucking cowboy, right? That's his whole thing on stage. Just put cover song. What the fuck are you doing? See, that's the I should have known. That's the Harvey thing. No, he doesn't do any covers.
Yeah.
No, he's got so many great originals. Why would you?
Yeah.
He's a prolific songwriter.
Yeah, well, he should...
I'm not sure billionaires should be able to have hobbies like that.
No.
Where they make people listen to them.
I'd rather see him just shooting animals at the zoo.
So it's a country band?
I don't know. It's some kind of a blues-ass thing, right?
It's blues. It's kind of a blues rock thing.
Yeah. Who would you most compare them to? Some kind of a Texas fucking thing. Like the Texas triplets, ZZ Top.
Tex-Mex thing.
Mex. He sings Mexicali.
No, no Mexicali, but that.
Is his voice raspy like you always bring up, Earl?
I wouldn't say raspy, but it's just.
All right, let's play a little bit of him.
All right.
Let's hear the one where he's talking about Weinstein.
Okay, this is I should have known.
I should have known, like, 'cause suddenly, like, he could have done something about it. 'Cause they were best friends.
JD in the Straight Shot.
We were friends, talked for hours without end. About his latest story, how to deal with fame and glory. All the girls who adored him catered to his every whim. Nothing he could lose, all he needed to do was choose. I should have known, I should have known, I should have thrown myself across his tracks, stopped him from these vile attacks. I should have known.
Now everybody fucking exploded on him because the Knicks have had so many fucking stories in the past.
That's right.
About
yeah.
people fucking getting groped in the office or whatever.
He was involved in most of them.
Oh, he touched people?
I think it was him and Isaiah. They lost a lawsuit. They lost
I don't want to
$12
get into something that they could sue us for. I don't tell someone to say Earl Douglas is the one saying he was involved, not me. I'm just saying this is a great fucking band.
They deserve respect.
When we get Zion in here next year, fucking forget about this town is going to go boot scoot boogie. To fucking are we going to get who are we getting? Vito, you know all the details. Vito's the next guy.
So, like, the way the draft works this year, first time in history, bottom three teams all have an equal chance at the first pick.
Mm-hmm.
So we're likely looking at either Zion, RJ Barrett, or one other guy, not a Duke guy. But if it's RJ or Zion, there's no losing. Like, those are both amazing options. But Zion in New York City it's a fucking new era of basketball.
There's no winning, though. Whatever good player goes there, he's going to have to listen to JD in the straight shot, and he's going to want out in 3 years.
Hit me with your straight shot. Earl, I'm going to ask you something right now. If you could become owner of the Knicks, right? But you only had to do one thing. Blow James Dolan and the straight shot.
Ooh.
Would you do it?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. The city fucking... Oh, did he say not?
He said not.
Why not?
You'd have $4 billion.
You just blow them, and then, you could sell them for $4 billion right after.
I love that.
Probably 5 if you find that one dude.
Yeah, you don't need to ask Chris.
No, Chris would do it anyway, just for the story.
Yeah, just like,
I
look.
blew that fucking idiot.
I blew him and his butt.
JD in the straight shot?
Just to get on that bus?
Yeah. I should have known.
Yeah, they sing
Earl
it.
would never blow me. Should have thrown myself into his mouth. Would you feel terrible if you were blowing James Dolan, right?
Yeah.
And then he couldn't get a hard on? Would that make you feel
I'd feel awful.
embarrassed?
I'd also be like, I think you need to come for me to get the team. I'd also be pissed.
Yeah, that would just put more pressure on him.
He doesn't like pressure.
You can't say things like that.
You can't psych him out.
By the way,
You'll get hard at it.
you can't. That's the worst for anybody.
Yeah, don't say it.
Now,
Especially the way you said it.
Speaking of performance anxiety, I went down to the bathroom right after Judah left. Chris had to run at the same time. Went into the stall for 5 seconds. So now I know for a fact that you're pee shy.
Well, I saw that the big stall was open, so I always like to use that no matter what.
Why?
Big stall is called a handicap stall, and that's who it's for.
For big people.
I like to spread out.
Explore the space. Like, just
You
do
like
a
a lot of room? Use the big stall. But why? You're a pee shy, dude. Now
I never
proves it.
consider myself pee shy.
You don't use the urinal. I've known you for 12 years. You've never lined up at the urinal.
I'm not pee shy at all. I could pee right here.
Me too.
I have no problem with peeing.
I didn't really know that was a thing until I started seeing it on like shows and movies.
Well,
Maybe like
do
a
you know how
character.
many comics are fucking pee shy?
That's so odd.
Is it
Yeah,
common
comics are.
for-
Yeah, comics are so fucking pathetic and weird. You know, now
They are the JD and the straight shot of human beings.
the amount of social anxieties that comics have.
Yeah.
I saw, I would consider a major comic, I would consider a top 5 comic. And I was sitting having a nice conversation with them. And a girl comes over and compliments him. And he went down and turned like almost woman over a compliment.
Just like, get me out of this situation. I
like,
don't want to be here.
Scary and awful. Wow. And many comics are like that. They can't be a regular fucking dude.
And it's weird. It's like a lot of it just gets excused. I mean, that's like, you know, at least that's not like being rude, but there is like also a degree of like just fucking weirdness or rudeness that gets excused.
Because you
for comics. Yeah, it's like, oh, he's got a weird social thing. When there are times where it's like, all right, a lot of us do.
Yes.
Like I'm already grading on a curve and he's still failing. So
right.
And what? You can command a room. Why can't you command one fucking person?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why can't you go, hey, cha-cha, glad you enjoyed. You don't have to be yourself. Invent a fucking bit that talks to me. That could be your thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like I used to have way more issues with that. But then the more I just did comedy, like you just start to feel more comfortable. When you feel more comfortable on stage, then you could like transfer that off stage.
Yeah. Most people, I don't want to do any one-on-one work with anyone. Who would? That's just out of laziness. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to dive on the ground like a fucking toddler.
Hiding behind a parent's leg,
Get behind my mom's dress and just have it up to my face. I always find that so fucking funny. That kid thinks they can put their face into somebody's fucking armpit and you don't see them anymore.
Well, the funny thing is, too, when you're a little girl, I can remember the thing of, you pull up your dress to cover your face. So you're now exposing your vagina.
Sure, yes.
Because you're like, don't look at my face. Look down here.
Eyes
not up
down
here.
there.
That's a fucking setup. That's how Earl got set up. Am I right, Earl? I should have known. Earl was touching kids.
He's not denying it. Dan Perlman, he's performing Monday, February 18th at Littlefield in Brooklyn. Also on the show are Parn Churla, Joe Firestone, and Langstrom Kerman. DanPerlmanComedy.com for tickets. And his web series is available at FlatbushMisdemeanors.com. And on Twitter and Instagram, follow him at Dan J. Perlman.
Oh, that's nice. Mackenzie, come over and sit down. This is Mackenzie. She's our new intern.
Hi.
This is Dan Perlman. They call him the Pearl. He's a former intern.
That's true.
And now
yes.
He's an award-winning web series writer and producer.
No awards that matter, but you know.
No,
every
award
matters.
Every award matters.
Every award matters. I agree.
The old saying. Every award matters.
I still got 2 of my Cub Scout awards that I have. One of them for punctuality.
In Little League, I won the coach's award for dedication because I was the only kid that showed up every day. It's basically a perfect attendance award.
Who isn't impressed with a dedicated Little Leaguer?
Presidential Fitness Award when I was
That's hard to believe.
I swear, I did. I had a Presidential Fitness Award.
I would have got one, but the goddamn standing broad jump. Remember they would always have those weird things. Just stand on this tape and jump. This isn't a sport.
Mine was for track, but I couldn't even get up the rope. That one I couldn't do. That was not. I don't have the upper arm strength.
Well, that's that's in your DNA. You can't blame yourself. Not a lot of rope climbing took place in our family. Refused to.
Yeah.
I had a great grandfather in World War I. The rope to get out of the thing. He goes, just shoot me. I'm not going to even. Just fucking shoot me. I'm not going to climb this rope. Heights, too. You know what I mean? Heights.
I had a grandfather in World War II. He wanted to get out of there because, a lot of them were dying. And then the commanding officer left the room. He was with him in his office. Went back behind, pulled out a discharge form, signed it, fake signature, and got the hell out of there.
He's a hero.
He's really a hero.
If that was Vietnam, we'd all say good for him. But World War II, there were Nazis.
We needed him.
Yeah, well.
I've never heard of anyone doing that before.
Yeah.
And, there's your movie, dude. There's your fucking movie.
I'll write that down.
Guy who gets I mean, there's our movie. A guy that's out of World War II. Like, I gave you that part.
He was back celebrating in Times Square before everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my father was in World War II.
Yeah.
And and this should have gotten big at the thing in Times Square, he kissed a male nurse. And nobody.
Damn,
yeah. Nobody spread that picture around. He made out with a male nurse.
I mean, sure, private circles, a couple, but, not everybody liked it.
My dad said that he had gotten just recently a thing from Tom Brokaw about using these stories, the World War II veteran story, for the memorial. And I'm like, wow, that's great, Pop. I go, I just wish you would have got that before you got so hazy on some of these stories. They've kind of changed over the years. A little concerned that you're going to say something, that you dreamed.
Yeah, it's evolving a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what got, that gets all of them. That's what got Brian Williams fired. I guess they rehired him, but he was making up those war stories.
He didn't get his good thing. And his thing was, he said that the helicopter that he was on was shot
at.
Right.
And hit, and they got out of the helicopter and did a thing, and then, time went by. He had told this a couple times on TV. So finally, someone said, hey, I'm in the military, and we wouldn't let Brian Williams I mean, if we were in that dangerous of a thing, we don't go flying in.
Right.
I mean, you know how bad it looks for the military? Brian Williams is shot down. It looks like we're losing.
Also, it would have been a news story. Yeah. Hey, Brian Williams got shot at. It wouldn't have been left to be told by Brian Williams.
Yeah. And he was rehired, too.
Yeah, now he's on the 11:30 MSNBC, where he does this all the time, like if there's news from New Orleans. The Big Apple is where everything has to be so fucking flowery.
Yeah.
Just deliver the news.
Yeah, he's very grand in the 11th hour, as his show is called.
The 11th hour.
It's just when Rachel Maddow has to go to sleep.
Yeah.
They can't leave her on all night.
I'm telling you, I'm starting to feel like Trump's going to be reelected.
I think 100% he will.
I
don't think there's any chance. I think if his name is on the ballot, then he wins. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yes, I don't even know who would.
Judah Freelander.
Judah could, yeah.
He got my vote.
If he's on the ballot, then he has a shot. But
he's on the ballot in the USA American Party. I hope he gets on all 50 states.
But it's like every time it seems like there's somebody who runs, and then the opposing person who runs is like, isn't that person horrible? The horrible person always wins.
Right.
So it's like they were running against George W. Bush, like Kerry was, of like, isn't he bad? And Romney was like, isn't Obama bad? And it's like, that's just not enough.
I know that to all you guys, you're freaked out. But for me, middle-aged white guy.
Yeah, you're
going to work out fine. It's going to work out perfectly for me. Just like most of the elections have in the history of this country.
Most.
One shocked us all. Mom, are you watching TV right now? How did this happen? I just saw Earl running down the street with sparklers. Earl, was that the proudest night of your life when Obama got...
It was... I can't even describe how elated I was.
It was the second happiest I've ever seen Earl. First was during the L.A. riots in '92.
Earl hated those Korean grocers.
Yeah, when they pulled that white guy out of the truck and everybody was punching him and kicking him, Earl was going fucking nuts.
You have to do what you got to do.
No, hey, you got to get a win every once in a while. It's not fun, right?
There is a thing with Trump. I don't know if I mentioned this, but when he talks about space, that's my favorite thing.
Space Force?
Like the Space Force?
The Space Force. Anytime, if we could just limit him to, if he just had a podcast about space, I would listen every week. Just an hour, because that's the thing he loves the most and knows absolute zero about. Well, so it's a mix of his true passion for it and absolute zero knowledge, and he has to use big, flowery language, and that's my favorite.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because I also think the same with, he does really well with weather too, and it's almost the same thing. It's like science kind of excites him but eludes him.
Yes. He doesn't right when he was.
That's how you get like
hurricane,
big water,
big tremendous wet. Yes, tremendously wet.
Wet, like we've never
big
seen.
Water.
Big water. No one could believe
It's an island surrounded by big water.
He like signed this like executive order that said he liked the moon or something. I forget. And he's like he does that thing where he holds up the thing and he holds it up and he's just like space. That's all it has to say is space. It's like well, it's not all it has to say. But,
he just said it off the top of his head one day. He's like, why don't we have a space force?
Yes.
And then you just have him go, Space Force. Great. So then he goes, we're announcing a space force. It's never gone past this thing, but he wants to be a guy who invented a branch of the service. It's kind of adorable when you think about it.
Yeah, it's like a child's dream or something. I mean, he did, I think, make them like design a patch, and I think that's about as far as they got. And like again, that's like what a kid would do. Like I came up with Space Force. Here's the drawing.
Yeah.
This is what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Let's see the space.
So there was like a couple different ideas that they threw out. So those were some possible.
That's like what you'd see on the back of a denim jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
That one they definitely ripped off from Space Invaders.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah, you're right. I kind of like the one on the bottom left, which is like a lot of simplicity, a phallic rocket. I think that's it.
Phallic rocket.
That's all you need.
Well, you never know when we're going to have to fight people in space. And I know NASA's working on this stuff that we can shoot down meteorites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for that 100%.
Yeah, planetary defense system.
Thank you.
They're going to fire a drone or like some sort of probe.
Why would they fire a drone or a probe? They're not firing it.
Apparently they're going to launch a probe.
Only fire missiles.
You're going to launch a probe into a smaller
We just fired a train. Let's see how that What are they? They're going to put a drone up and then try to hit it with a missile?
Yeah.
Just target practice.
Yeah.
That's such at an intergalactic level.
Now, is the drone going to go into space?
It's going to go into space.
Yeah.
And they're going to fire it. So there's this faraway asteroid that's going to coming nowhere near Earth, but then that asteroid has another smaller asteroid around it. So they're going to fire the probe/drone into the smaller asteroid to crash into the larger asteroid to see if they can throw it off course.
It's like fucking billiards now.
Yeah. So you're telling me that their idea does not involve like deep core drillers at all?
Oddly enough,
like a ragtag team of drillers.
No one from an off-sea rig.
I would like to do this. I would like us to either blow up the moon or cut it in half. Just enough fucking laser so we can see what's in that core. I bet it's like when you open up a baseball and you can't believe how much shit's in there. And then
what is inside?
We would always, if we cut the moon in half, we'd always have 2 half moons, and then we could always have high tide everywhere. So we'd have a lot less wars.
That's the perfect almost idea.
What if we cut the moon in half and just spiders just came out?
Oh my god!
There'd be no wars. You'd be running from the spiders.
Do you ever realize, like, even Reagan brought that up? He goes, if we were attacked by aliens, we would all pull together. And everyone's like, oh, we want you to go have a test. This is not the kind of shit that the president is supposed to say.
All right, Grandpa.
But it really is true. We would do away with all racism, and every country would get together if we just had to kill
a bug
giant
planet.
Fucking bugs.
Yeah.
Just some ETs,
Bug planet.
You'd be like, you'd see some fucking ISIS and like, great to see you, brother. We're fucking taking them down.
Rico's rough necks.
Although ISIS might just shoot one guy. It's fucking over.
What an ISIS move that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. God, they're the worst.
You had to be ISIS. Even with everything that we're trying to do here.
ISIS, now, come on.
Now is not the time, ISIS. Save it. We've got a lot of space spiders to kill.
I swear, if you cut off one more head,
Cut off the head of a spider if you
One
want.
of these days, ISIS.
You want to kill somebody, cut off the head. Kill that spider.
The moon
Cut off his
spider.
head. Yeah.
That's attacking.
Who's the idiot that cut the moon in half? Doesn't matter who came up with it. The fact is, we got a problem here.
We got a bunch of moon spiders we got to kill.
Wow, this just came up in the Mueller investigation about Paul Manafort. They said he shit his pants. That's just a problem.
This is my favorite endless thing.
Yeah.
This is just going to keep on, and that's why I just think he's going to win. This is just going to keep on going.
Do you know, I've stopped paying attention to it entirely. I'm still like, not news, just specifically any news regarding that. I'm done.
I love the strong, like, you know, just the anti-Trump people who think every one of these updates is going to be the one.
It's not
like,
going to be the one. It doesn't matter. So
they got Trump's masseuse. The masseuse flipped. We're going to get him.
Yeah,
I think the masseuse is the key.
Wheels are coming up.
There's John Ben.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, I can't pay attention to it. I can't hope for anything anymore. Just let me know if anything big happens, but nothing
Did you
is
hear?
happening.
Eric was in a restaurant with a Russian.
Yeah.
And they were sitting pretty close in the diner. I was like, all right. I don't know.
Same side of the booth.
On the same side.
Yeah. They said that he went crazy about it today, just tweeting shit out. Had an angry day today.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know when it's going to end, if ever. Wouldn't it be funny if it's not over even during the election?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it will be. I think it's just going to keep like little advancements that go nowhere.
I can't believe that we still haven't seen his taxes after all this time.
Yeah.
Show us the fucking taxes.
Well, Rachel Maddow did show us one page of, remember that? Oh,
She
my
got
God.
fucking played.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
That was a rough one. That was a rough
That was just like, as soon as it happened, I was like, this is hurting my skin.
My mom will call me and she'll like, I'm worried about Rachel. I think she's like,
I
going
know
off
your
the
whole
deep end.
generation likes Rachel. Stop giggling through the fucking nose, lady. It's not funny to everybody. Stop acting like this is the happiest you've ever been.
Yeah.
Because everyone's looking at you.
What's a sport to her?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just view it as her just like going nuts a little bit. I think that's just
Yeah.
like her in a straitjacket.
I think
trying
it's
not
just
to go
like
insane.
she's having more fun with this than we are. It's like she's like looking down upon the story, like, oh, the plot
Like a
thickens,
scoop?
and it's
Yes.
like, yeah, we're in it, dude. It's not funny anymore. It sucks.
I wish that she would just fucking every night. She would be holding her own camera and acting like the Blair Witch Project. I don't know what's going on right now.
That is respect.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
I don't know what's going on with Bueller. It's so weird. It's so scary. I keep walking around. I'm in the same spot.
Every news person should have to do that. There should be no more cameramen.
Let me tell you,
They
I
have to
just
film
love that improv. I'm going to try to do that on Aaron Berg's show on Monday. Chris, I don't ask you to plug my stuff at all, but I'm doing that show with Robert Kelly.
You know what, dude? Tuesday.
I'm not doing you know what, dude. I'm doing a fucking Keswick Theater. You think I'm plugging that I'm doing his fucking podcast? Earl, guess what? You just got made in charge of the plug. How does that sound to you?
Congratulations on the promotion, Earl.
Oh, hey, Earl. It's like when Obama won.
Join Ron for you know what, dude. Have you ever done those podcasts upstairs at above the cellar?
No, I never done those. Yeah.
Every time I'm there, I'm like, looks like I'm going to be killed. You go up to those things, and it looks like a 1970s movie where a guy walks in and the dealer shoots him in the head. And I'm like, you're in this fucking area. Do you know how expensive it is? And you have a podcast
Those are
going on?
Those are most podcast setups, though.
Yeah.
You just like go to some random person's house.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know. I hope I come out alive.
Right.
I hope I have an okay conversation with an acquaintance.
Everybody
and just make it out okay.
Who says that? I'm always like, I'll do your podcast over here. I'll get a studio and we'll just record it here.
Yes.
And they go, yeah, but if it's easier for you, go, no, that's the easiest thing for me. To be in a professional place with real microphones, not me and you in your fucking hotel room.
With a tiny.
You taking your penis out.
That's a weird theme a lot of them have.
Yeah. They all take their penis out.
Yep. Always ends with somebody coming in a rubber tree.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Just a couple of comics talking with their dicks out.
Ooh. What's your favorite podcast that you've done so far? And then we got to wrap this up.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know.
None of
They're
them,
all
right?
fine.
They're all bad.
They're all fine. I'm trying to think of one.
How many people are listening to these podcasts? 8?
Well, that's what I've started doing. I've started, like, just check if someone's asking me. I used to just say yes to be nice, but then you start checking. It's like, I just feel like I did so many where it's like, they hadn't even put out any yet.
Yeah.
And then they just take the files and they just put them on a disc and then just throw it in a river. And it just never gets put out.
Yeah. That's what I worry about with this fucking you-know-what dude thing.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, he's big. He's big, and he's got a big network that he owns. All right, Chris, let's tell everybody about Dan. But first, Dan, not this long again, all right?
Yeah,
you got to come back.
Yeah. Guys, yeah.
Is there a reason that you don't come back?
No, I would come back anytime.
Was it the lack of song?
But
Because
you
now
want
there's a
us,
song.
you want us to ask every time.
No, I'll reach out and ask. No, I sometimes feel like I'm being a bother.
Be one.
Okay.
Be one, because we love you.
Okay.
Dan Perlman is performing Monday, February 18th at Littlefield in Brooklyn with our partner Charla. Joe Firestone and Langstrom Kerman. Go to danperlmancomedy.com for tickets. Go to flatbushmisdemeanors.com for Dan's web series, and on Twitter and Instagram at Dan J. Perlman.
You know, we got a young guy coming on tomorrow from Scotland, Daniel Sloss. Do you know him? He's got a couple specials out.
I know the name. I don't
Monster.
know him. Yeah.
Monster in the UK, and is doing a month here in a little theater, Soho Playhouse.
Yeah.
So it's always funny when those guys
I like Soho Playhouse a lot.
come over to break through. All right, that's it for us. Earl, what are we ending with?
I'm going to end with some Janis Joplin from the album Pearl. And we're going to do Get It While You Can.
One of the greatest songs of all time.
Totally.
That's it. See ya.